before the court, there were a lot of them that they do not know. And that cannot be a basis for the charge before the court and all of that. So, prosecution led by Watkins Adama, a senior state attorney, opposed to that and said, look, no exceptional circumstances have been made for which reason the court will have to exercise discretion. And of course, there are certain remedies when you are seeking from the court as purely discretionary, and you need to appeal to the emotion, you need to appeal to the conscience of the judges to be able to exercise that discretion in your favor. And yesterday, the panel, including Justice Fiasewa Saribotre and Justice Christopher Archer, were of the considered view that, look, no exceptional circumstances have been made for which reason the court will have to exercise discretion in Namwan's favor. Consequently, that request for stay of proceedings or to halt the trial at the High Court is dismissed. But Lily, the Menzgold customers have been complaining. In fact, in their view, when this trial started, the court initially projected March. Okay. Last year March to conclude the trial because of
last year March, not this year.
Okay. Because of how the trial was progressing. Because at a day, prosecution can produce about 3 witnesses, and all of them cross-examine, and some of them. Namwan's lawyers even decided to waive cross-examination in relation to that. So it was looking very fresh that the trial was going to end on time. Then a lot of the court processes started coming in and all of that. Fast forward, once the court they have been complaining because when you go to court, because of the pendency of the case at the appeal, the High Court keep adjourning the matter, and for the Menzgold customer, they think that they were frustrated in this. So yesterday, moments after the Court of Appeal dismissed Namwan's request for stay of proceeding, I have been engaging Frederick Forsen, who speaks for the Menzgold or the aggrieved Menzgold customers. Let's listen to what he has to say.
It's all well and good, and it's in the interest of justice, and that at the end of the day, it's been given the fair trial which is going on, and we are happy that now the court below can proceed with the trial. And I've been advised by our lawyer that while the trial is going on, the actual appeal can also take place, and it doesn't take away any right from the accused persons. And so, as customers, we are happy. We have been calling for speedy trial, and I think that is what is going on. Some of us, we've been coming to court, and we've been advised and educated by our lawyers, and so we know that there's a saying that the wheel of justice grinds slowly, but it will surely get to its destination. Even though we had anticipated that this case should have been dealt with before the end of last year, but however, justice have its own path, and that is what we are patiently going along with them. It is our hope that at the end of it all, justice will be served.
They are beginning to understand the dynamics of how the court system works, because the kind of frustration they show anytime the case is adjourned, now they are beginning to understand that the wheels of justice really grind slowly. Absolutely. And they should also understand that, in fact, the criminal leg of the case, many of the customers are of the view that once Namwan is convicted or convicted, then it means they have their money. But that is not it. There's always a process that you have to go through to be able to get this money and all of that. But the man himself, Nanapia Mensa, yesterday he was also present in court when his case was dismissed. So I've been engaging, I've been asking him, what's next for you?
I mean, we still have the Supreme Court, so we just exercise all our rights, enshrined under the Constitution, the Republic, this beautiful republic. So I'll confer with my lawyers, and then whatever as they so advise, we'll proceed.
That is Namwan for you, Nanapia Mensa. He thinks that, look, that will not be the end of the road. There's another step, another option in mind, which is the Supreme Court. But that one, yes, he wants to seek advice from his legal team, his lawyers, led by lawyer Kwame Kufu. Then the next step will be made. But for him, he thinks that, no, Ghana is a beautiful country. The rule of law is working, and once there's another option for him, he may well activate that. So we look forward in the coming day. But what is clear is that on May 28th, That is when the case at the High Court has been adjourned to. One will be expected to come because already Justice Enes Owusu-Dapaah has asked him to file his witness statement, all processes and all disclosures, and then mount the witness box and open his defense in relation to the 35 counts together with Menzgold Ghana Limited and Brew Marketing Consult, because he is the owner, so he is representing the two other companies. So May 28th, One is expected back, and so the trial will continue while he pursues the appeal at the Court of Appeal.
Right. Let's talk about other cases. The notorious robber.
So yesterday, the young man who was arrested, and then in fact he was he in Togo? He was arrested somewhere, and yes, yesterday he was arraigned at the circuit court in Accra, but unfortunately the court did not sit. So as you can see on your screens, when the CID officers brought him, he's the one in the local print, as you can see. So when he arrived at the court yesterday, he has to be taken back to custody. So hopefully this morning he's back in court, where his plea will be taken in relation to the charges that have been leveled against him and all of that. So yesterday he made his first appearance in court, but the court did not sit. So hopefully today he is expected back in court, and then his plea will be taken. Then we'll know the charges that the prosecution will be preferring against him, all of that. So this is one of the cases that we should keep an eye on in relation to what is coming on today. Yesterday he made an appearance because but the court did not sit, but today it is expected that yes, he will be back in court and the court will be sitting.
Let's look at some of the cases coming up today. It's been a while I heard her name, Safina Mohammed.
Yes.
I understand she's back in court today.
Yes, talking about the Ashalibuche school junction murder incident involving a Ghanaian domicile in Canada, and we have been told that that's a boyfriend, and then allegedly the gentleman came down to the Ghana, spent some few holidays, and that's the end of him. He couldn't go back. He was found dead in Safina's surrounding. And so when he was arrested together with one other during the committals, the other person was released, but he left with Safina Mohammed, who has been charged for murder. In fact, today, because of the new jury reforms and the other stuff, they made sure that the new cases that are pending, they want to deal with the old cases, and after they start afresh with the new cases. And so the new system is now in place. The jurors are back in court.
So these are the relatives.
The relatives of the deceased, absolutely. Okay. The relatives of the, so that is him on the on your screens over there and all of that. So today he's expected in court, and what is likely to happen is that he will select, or she will select her jury men and women, jurors, who would be the judges of facts to preside over this case. Then at the end, their decision is what the court presided over by Justice Kizita Nakowa Kwasi, who is a judge of law, who determine, who make their case, their verdict known, and whatever they say is binding on the court and all of that. So
is she still in law for custody?
No, she has been granted bail. Yeah, okay. She's on bail. So anytime she comes to court, she comes to court from whom? Okay. Yes, so that's one. You know, because of the Martin Table versus the Attorney General number 2, so any case in Ghana now is bailable. Yeah, but of course, it's also subject to the discretion of the judge. But in respect of this case, she has been granted bail, and she's expected in court today. So that's the two of them, Safina, and then the supposed boyfriend and all of that.
She was dressed as a law enforcement
very beautiful.
agent.
Yeah,
and now the law has caught up with her. That's quite an interesting twist of
so that's one of the cases, and some other that are expected to come out today. So newsroom and our subsequent bulletin, and hopefully tomorrow when we come here, we'll share all the cases that have come up in court.
Absolutely, Captain. Thank you very much. So that's Mutula Musa with Court Today. Up next is what's happening in the sports world. Yeah, welcome back. It's now time for Sports Chat. And the man who's always outside is inside today. Yesterday he was outside. We didn't see him here. GHOne Saji is here. Jones, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. I hope you're better.
Yeah. I'm fine. I'm fine.
You look better.
Yeah. I'm great. Yeah. Outside.
Anyway, what's up on sports?
All right.
This morning?
So, on the state of affairs, we had our man.
Edwin
he's a former sports minister. And obviously, he won't come without...
And a former sports journalist.
Exactly. Yeah. Without... he's actually a commentator as well, a football commentator too. So, and Josh asked him about the Black Stars budgets. And the boss man was like, Charlie, the Black Stars budget, they have to make it known to us, even the players. So he's actually saying
I agree.
Yeah, he's also saying that not just us, but let the players know that, Charlie, we don't get money. If you can't come and play, fine, but this is what we have. This is what we'll give you. So they even know ahead of time, so that the complaints that we get to see, after the games and then. So let's just get to listen to Nilante Vanderpool.
Every Black Star player should have a local account. You understand me?
Every Black Star player?
Yes.
Right.
We must have a bank account here in Ghana. We must stop paying them money in foreign denomination. He comes to play, he's due 50,000 cedis, it's paid into his account.
In cedis?
Yes, because we buy the ticket for him to come, in and out ticket. He comes to play the match. He's going sometimes 24 hours, 48 hours time. So what does he need the cedis for? So the money is paid into his account. Where he's going, he doesn't need the cedis.
Right.
He needs the dollars. But he has so much dollars there. He has an account out there. He doesn't need this one.
Cedis, yeah.
So it must be religiously followed. It must be a policy that we are not going to pay our Black Star players. We are not going to pay our Black Queens. We are not going to pay anybody in foreign denomination. We are going to, if you come to play, we pay you in cedis.
Right.
Have an account, because we are not going to pay you over the table. Have an account. We pay the money into the account.
That's it.
I think for everything, budget of our sporting federation must be known.
Right.
One, it is not only to be known by Ghanaians, but even those stakeholders, the sportsmen and women who are into that federation, who are the people who are going to wear the jersey, must know what is involved. So, for example, if we're going to play a match, Ghana is going to play Nigeria, let's say, for example, the players themselves must know what they're entitled to before the match. We should be open to say, look, we don't have money. This is how much we are going to give you. So that if there is anybody there who thinks that he is consumed by the spirit of greed, so he wouldn't want to take that money, so he won't play, let him go away. You understand?
Right.
To prevent the grumbling and the sort of dissatisfaction that sometimes follow up on our matches. There's no money, go, we shall get the money and send it to you. No, we said, look, for this match you are coming, we don't have money now.
All right. So that's Edwin Nilante on the point.
So if you can't, go away. That's what they want to say. Yeah.
I mean, you're coming to play for your nation.
Yeah.
This whole pumping Black Stars and all that. Meanwhile, the other sporting disciplines.
Yeah. So he says that let's pay them in cedis. Let's get local accounts for them. So Inaki Williams will come. You probably have a bank account with maybe Ghana Commercial Bank or any.
Yes, is he not Ghanaian? Is he not coming to play as Ghanaian? So
we pay you if it's 50,000 cedis. We give you 50,000 cedis, and we all know that this is it. So I mean, it's not bad.
I agree.
Yeah. He also said he likes the way Kofi Adams is working, and he's doing well. So please, next time, don't miss State of Affairs on GHOne TVs on Mondays at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
All right, let's do basketball. There's a league in Ghana. Yes, so we're going to see some action tonight in the basketball league. But yesterday and the weekend was exciting. They actually played at Elwak. Okay. So if maybe you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you want to enjoy the night, watch some basketball. Trust me, we have basketball happening. Let me bring you the fixtures for today. So today we're going to see the Navy. And you know, the way the league is, we see the armed forces, the police, they have the teams, and then sometimes the towns. So there's a team from Kaswa, there's a team from Nungwa, Ashaman, and they actually form these basketball teams and then give their names and then the league. So the league is getting interesting, and today we are going to see there's actually for women as well. So we'll see the Navy take on Reformers at 3 p.m. and then Aces take on GRA. So the Ghana Revenue Authority, they also do have a basketball team there. And then we would see the last game would be between Ghana Revenue Authority and then the police at 6 p.m. So get to Elwak today at 3 p.m. and then 6 p.m. and enjoy some basketball there. Let's end off. I'll not do Manchester United today. So let's end off with the Ghana Premier League because Nations FC have been relegated. Oh. Yes, they've been relegated yesterday. They were relegated. And you know, the guy, guess who scored yesterday? I Belong to Jesus scored yesterday. And after scoring yesterday, Emmanuel Ano, after scoring yesterday, he went down on his knees and did like this. This time there, he didn't celebrate with I Belong to Jesus. So Emmanuel Ano got a goal yesterday. They actually beat Legon Cities 4-1. So it means that Legon Cities have been relegated. Let's get to see the table quickly before I go. So Nations FC have gone top of the table. They do have 57 points. We have 3 games to go. And then Bibiani Gold Star second, 56 points. Bando Out of Lions at third, 54. Kotoko, fourth, 54. Midiama fifth, 50 points. Hearts of Folk fans. You guys are saying with 49 points. Okay. For the relegation, we know on Satrumai they are already gone. And Legon Cities yesterday was confirmed after that defeat. So they do have 25 points. And then now it lies on these 4 teams. 3 games to go. Accra Lions can get relegated. Young Apostles can get relegated. Basake and then Kawela United can all get relegated. So with all this 3 games to go, it is getting interesting in the Ghana Premier League. There is action in the English Premier League tonight. Manchester City will be in action, and then we'll see Crystal Palace also in action. Yesterday, Liverpool lost to Brighton by 3-2. And then tomorrow, Manchester United will take on Tottenham Hotspurs. Unlike Mr. Jantuah's Arsenal, we are not going trophyless. But I told him. That should do it for the sports chat this morning.
All right, thank you very much.
When he comes, please do ask him for me.
Okay, I will.
So that
he's around, so I'll ask him.
Yes. About Arsenal, ask him about Arsenal before everything starts.
I'll do that. I'll do that for you. So that's GHOne Saji with a sports chat. Let's look at what the newspapers are reporting, and then we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll bring you our breakfast review. Okay. Yeah, welcome back to the show. This is still GH Today here on GHOne TV. I am Lily Mohammed. It's now time for the breakfast review. This morning is the Battle of the Esquires. My guest this morning, Kwame Jantuah Esq as the leading member of the Convention People's Party, Osman Ayariga Esq as the CEO of the National Youth Authority, and Kwarteng Esq is a private legal practitioner and a member of the NPP communications team. He's the man who's connected. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Who himself connected now? Your producer just intentionally brought only topics about Dr. Bawumia. But anyway, we'll discuss.
But you're a member of the NPP.
Oh, yes, certainly. Of course. I mean, I admire Dr. Bawumia so much. He was our Flagbearer. So at no point will I make any pronouncement that will not put him in a good light. I mean, he was our Flagbearer. We've not even got into the times of the primary. So certainly,
so it means that your mind can change at any time, right?
In terms of who I support?
Yes.
No, that one I've made my decision. I mean, that's the beauty of democracy.
Exactly.
People may have their own decisions based on how they view things. He's a fine candidate, very fantastic man. But I mean, I will restrain myself from you drawing me into
his candidature.
Yes,
we're not talking about Dr. Bawumia's candidature, at least not now.
Yes.
Let's talk about the floods. I mean, it's Ghana's annual problem. Every time it rains, is a broken record. We know that we're expecting floods. We know that certain people will be displaced. We know that properties will be lost. So it's like same script, different dates, different names, but the same thing every year. What is it that we're missing? We've so many interventions over the period. As far back as 2007, we had the National Water Policy, we've had GHOne, we've had all the policies. And in March, President Mahama formed a special task force to look at the flooding situation to be able to mitigate it. Will this change anytime soon? Let me start with you, Mr. Jantuah. Today I'm starting with you.
You always start with me.
Yes. No, usually I start from here. But today I want to start from you.
You always start with me. It's because I'm sitting opposite you. Easy pray. Good morning.
Good morning.
But when you were introducing everybody as Squire, you left yourself out.
Oh, but I am not. Mr. Jantuah, let's talk about flooding.
You left yourself out. You are budding Esquire. Are you not?
Oh, let's talk about flooding.
Incoming Esquire.
Kwasi, let's talk about flooding, please.
Let me go off track just one bit. Something is happening in Accra today. Just like the floods. Keeps coming and going, keeps coming and going.
What is happening?
The mayor, what is he doing?
Oh.
He's trying to drive away people who are selling on the pavements. It's like floods, isn't it?
It
comes and goes. Comes and goes.
It's like the floods.
Like the floods.
It's like the rains. We expect it all the time.
So let me ask the question. Who causes that?
Who causes that?
Yes. They're coming and going.
Policy direction.
Is it policy direction?
We're failing to stick to it.
No, the policy is there. It's the people who cause it.
Really?
Isn't it?
Is it not enforcement of the policy direction?
Well, we are not enforcing the policy direction, but isn't it the people? The people know that it is wrong to sell on the pavement.
If we enforce it, then the people will not do it.
The people know you're not supposed to sell on the pavement. There is law, there's regulation, and you know, so you won't do it.
Mr. Jantuah, are we then saying that people know that they are not supposed to do certain things? When they do it, it's against the law. So when we have people doing it, then we're saying that, okay, people know. So the law is the law. Let's enforce the law.
The law is the law, but we don't enforce it. And I'm saying that the fact that we don't enforce it doesn't mean it should be done.
Sure.
Similarly with flooding. Who caused them?
It's not just the people. It's a
myriad. Go to the areas that...
It's a myriad of issues.
Go to the areas that have flooded and find out whether there has been planning in terms of how properties have been built.
No, and who caused them?
Somebody would build their house in a waterway. They know it's a waterway. It's against the law, isn't it?
But who permits them?
Why?
People will need permit to build.
The fact that somebody permits you doesn't mean it is right. You're not getting. Maybe you're doing.
No, I do get your point. But I am saying that. Okay, granted.
Will somebody build? Wait, will somebody build their house in the middle of the road?
Oh, of course not. Well, some people have. I mean, I've had a few guests come here and talk about it. Some people have.
And why?
Because they were granted. They were granted.
Is it because they were granted?
Yes.
When they identified where they want to build their property, and they knew it was in the middle of the road, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
You are insane, obviously.
It is wrong. It is wrong for me to do this.
It is not. A sane person will not do that, so you're insane.
I said it is wrong for me to do this. Even when you are not a religious person, your instinct will tell you when you do something that isn't right. That this thing I'm doing is not right, so I should stop. Do we not throw rubbish in the drains? Let's put government responsibility aside and let's look at ourselves. Do we not throw rubbish in the drains?
We have people doing.
Do we not mount?
Even on Sunday, people were doing that.
Do we not mount rubbish and do nothing about it? Do we not?
We do.
So who are we blaming? Who are we blaming?
Everybody.
We are blaming government. We are blaming authorities, but ourselves, when we are the major cause of some of these challenges. Some of the challenges are natural. So when you get heavy rains in the Blay area, the water washes down. As it washes down, it needs to find its level, it needs to find its way. Have we not built in those areas where that water needs to come in? Have we built there? So we come to the people who give permits. Why would they give permits for such a thing? Are you telling me they don't know? Are you telling me there's not a map of Accra as to where things should be built and things shouldn't be built? Are you telling me that isn't there? Is there no spatial planning for Accra itself, or there is spatial planning but a year to baby? And then we point fingers at government. Yes, we are supposed to do what? Enforce the law. Are we enforcing the law? This particular situation of flooding, is it today's problem?
No.
Let's take this Fourth Republic. Hasn't floods taken over our country every time it rains? When I was growing up, when it rained, you were happy. When it rained, you were happy. You danced in the rain till the rain stopped. Today, when it rains, we am sure. Because you don't know what's going to happen. Small rain. Was it Saturday or Sunday? Sunday. Small rain. Oh. Small rain. Look at what happened.
And Ghana Meteo says we should brace ourselves for more.
Yeah, between now and the end of June. But why is it that every year we go through this challenge and we can't solve it? Why? You mean, so during the dry season, what happens? We go to bed. There's a country that is below sea level. Holland. Go and see whether the place floods the way ours flood during rainy season. And we've got to start enforcing the law. President Mahama says any building that is built in a waterway or in areas that collect water will be broken down. I'm waiting to see that it happens. I'm waiting to see that it happens. It cannot be mere rhetoric just to satisfy the ears of people, just to satisfy the ears of the population. I want to see it happen. And I want to see actions taken to make sure it happens. I was expecting, when he said that, the people who are responsible, who will be responsible to do this, should start putting action in place and let the people know these are the actions we are taking towards what the president said. And not let it happen before they start rushing. Hasn't it happened? Isn't it likely for more to happen? After the rains on Sunday, I drove to go and buy petrol. A lot of the roads had water logging on it. A lot of the roads. And you could see that people's cars were submerged. Apart from being submerged, they were parking on the side because they couldn't move. If you are not driving a vehicle that is higher, that can go through the water, you're in trouble. something has to be done. And I hope this government would now put action in place for people to see that they are serious. Because why do we go through this every year? Tell me. We know the rains are coming. Why do we go through it every year? Why do the people well, it's a broken record, but something has to be done, Lily. We can't continue this way. I heard somebody say flooding has been happening since 1930 in this country, and we haven't been able to do anything. Can we not even channel the water for something positive? Can we not? So why do we just sit and wait? Osman, you're head of where?
National Youth Authority.
National Youth Authority. There are people who have been put in place, especially where such things are happening. Let's see them work. Let's see them do something. And if they don't do it, horn them out and bring somebody new. Because the floods in this country have destroyed a lot of people's homes. I was listening on the radio what some people were saying, that they say government should come and help them, because these floods, they don't know what to do. And I understand some of the water in some areas was at lentil level. How is that possible? How? There are certain places in this country, especially areas like West Legon, where the subsoil is clay. So the water tends to stagnate for a while before it sinks in. And when it rains heavily, flooding is everywhere. We understand that. But then, should there not have been a plan in terms of how you direct the water? Where they say is the tallest building in Accra. That building opposite the mall. Apparently that was a Villaggio. Apparently that was a catchment area for water coming from a bridge. That is what I understand. They've now built properties high rise, and so water comes in and has nowhere to go, and water will find its level, and you find it all on the roads. So who has put these things, who allowed these things to be happening? Don't you think we should go back and look at those people who gave those permits and deal with them also? Shouldn't we do that? Because we don't seem to want to enforce the law.
True.
In this country, it looks as if personalities come before the law. It looks as if people come before the law. It is wrong. The law should be seen to be working. Because because apparently some of the lights out on Sunday had got to do with NADMO instructing
the ECG
to turn off the electricity. And they can't turn off just one small area. They have to turn a huge area off. Doesn't that inconvenience all of us? Because I slept in darkness on Sunday and my place didn't flood. So really, something should be done about it.
Right. Osman, does it appear that your government is on a committee forming spree? Because we're seeing a new task force being formed by President Mahama to oversee the mitigation of flooding. President Mahama was president in 2015 when we had the June 3 disaster, which claimed a lot of lives and destroyed property. He was booted out of office. He went to do his homework. Does it appear he didn't do his homework well?
Lily, good morning to you. Good morning to my brothers, and good morning to your cherished viewers. I would want to first and foremost sympathize with the people and families who were affected by the rains that developed floods on Sunday night. I've had to receive calls from persons to come to their rescue. We had to also coordinate most of the NADMO operations on Sunday night, and I must also say good job done by the NADMO coordinators, their deputies, and their operations guys on Sunday nights. Also with most of the municipal, metropolitan, and district chief executives who also joined the rescue mission on Sunday night. I must say they did a good job. And again, to the families, at least we can just sympathize with those who lost property, those who have been displaced, and those who also lost loved ones. Because I think somewhere in Adenta has been some deaths and some individuals have lost their lives. Lily, the government is just 5 months old. And if you say we are on a committee formation spree, I think you are being unfair to the government, because of course, for you to tackle any issue, you need to put that human resource together. You need to put the human beings together to execute your plan, and it could come either in the form of a board, in the form of a committee, in the form of a task force. So the task force is the body that is expected to execute a particular mandate. So of course, it is just proper that committees are formed, task force are formed. And based on our experience in the previous administration, that is why His Excellency, as soon as he assumed office, he didn't wait for the rains to start before we set up a task force that's been headed by the Deputy Chief of Staff in charge of operations. If you remember, there was a task force that was formed to really look at the entire system so that we could prevent the floods that we've experienced in past years. So you realize that this is a government that is obviously working. In the recent flood, you would realize that hitherto, in most of the places where we experienced heavy floods, which are noted for flood, example like the Circle area, the Odo River, you realize that so much emphasis was placed on those areas. So once you place so much emphasis on the areas which are noted for or prone towards flood, then you tackle them. So you realize that in last 2 nights' rain, the flood around Odo, around Circle has reduced significantly. Same with areas around, I think the Weja areas has also reduced significantly compared to previous rains. So that should tell you that the government is working and tackling the flooding
But
issues.
it doesn't mean
now,
those places were not flooded.
Yeah, but that's why I chose my words carefully. As I realize that it has reduced significantly. It is a building process. And for us to get to this level of floods, it has been caused by many years of activities and improper planning, especially with regards to our spatial planning. And I think, if my memory serves me right, this is the first time I have seen such flooding around the Adenta, New Legon areas. Because I remember with the areas such as School Junction, where we had the bridge. It used to be a very small bridge. I think there was some reconstruction in the previous government, and they even expanded the size of that bridge. Those who live there know what I'm talking about. I think it's School Junction and the Estate Gate area. And I think 2 nights rain also, the volumes of water that gushed into that bridge made the bridge fill, and that made most of the water find its way into homes of individuals. I mean, there's no justification whatsoever so far as flooding is concerned. And I don't want us to go into the political ping pong of this person didn't do this person didn't do that, this person didn't do this. We are currently at the helm of affairs, and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is working towards that. He's working assiduously to make sure that the flooding issues of Accra, not only Accra, Kumasi, Cape Coast, Tamale, should be a thing of the past. And that is why there's been that budgetary allocation to the Ministry of Works and House and Water to make sure that we are able to go into the construction of drains. And also with the hydrological service too, His Excellency has assured that they'll be given the needed budgetary support, they'll be given the needed budgetary allocation and the resource mobilization to make sure that they are able to construct the drains that are needed to be able to sustain most of these floods and the water that comes whenever there's a downpour. Now, to the issue of the assemblies, His Excellency has also stated that there will be some KPIs, especially for for the various municipal district assemblies. And one thing that will stand tall would be the ability to clean their various assemblies. So if the assemblies are able to clean their various assemblies and make sure that most of these waterways or drains are desilted, then of course we'll be making headway. And that will also include also controlling human activity, to making sure that people do not just dump rubbish into most of these waterways. So as I said, the government is working very hard to make sure that most of these floods do not occur again. It's rather unfortunate that in the first 4 months of His Excellency John Dramani Mahamed's tenure, of which even in the first 2 months we put together a task force to make sure that we are able to stop or prevent most of these floods. It just happened that it's reoccurred. But we can assure that we are working assiduously, we're working very hard to make sure that no life is lost as a result of just rains. We also hope that with regards to human activities, we'll be able to, people would be able to appreciate and understand that your activities can either affect us positively or negatively, especially with building structures. Mr. Jantuah spoke about the fact that some people build on waterways. Yeah, some people actually build on roads. And sometimes you can be moving and you realize it's a dead end, when in actual fact there isn't supposed to be a dead end there. So you realize that someone has actually built and the person has a permit. So the question is, who granted the person a permit? Which engineer allowed that to happen? Which assembly allowed that to happen? But we live in a human institution where people, one way or the other, just find a way of getting away with things, when at the end of the day is the majority of people on the other side who are vulnerable and have not committed any offense, rather suffer it. So we will just plead with the families who have lost lives to we sympathize with them, and we are working assiduously to make sure we prevent most of these floods.
Kwasi?
Yeah, good morning once again, and good morning to our viewers as well. I want to take a cue from my senior and also sympathize with the affected families. I don't know as of now whether there have been lives lost yet.
Yes, 5 people are reported.
It's quite unfortunate. I mean, we understand that there are sometimes that you may have some of these inevitable natural occurrences, but it appears this one is something which is so predictable that we may be able to do something about it. But before I go on the flood discussion, I want to use the opportunity to just make one appeal. I made a write-up just last night, and this morning I'm sharing it, and it's about opening the doors to dignity. And my case is that it's backward to keep public washrooms under key and lock. It's something that maybe our attention has not come on as a people. But when it comes to the use of public washrooms, especially if we look at our the geographical realities and how all of us, one way or the other, we are confronted with nature's call. And I mean, sometimes you walk to the nearby public institution and the only thing they tell you is that that space is locked, you are not a staff here. And these ramifications or consequences on public health, on sanitation and everything. Or the view that is a campaign that all of us, we need to start to drive. Of course, I've heard arguments that when you allow public washrooms to be used by the public, they may not maintain it well. But I always maintain that no country in the world has a maintenance culture. What they do have has always been a maintenance budget and maintenance personnel. So even if we have to commercialize the public washrooms. I remember one time I was in London and I needed to use these train stations, the washrooms. You go there, you swipe your card, you get deducted, they debit you, and then you use it. And that is even a form of revenue.
You put money in.
Yes, and then, so at the end of the day, it's even a way of generating money. But because withholding urine or anything for that long has even some health challenges. And as a people, maybe it's because, I don't know whether we are shy to discuss that because it's borders on privacy and nature's call. We have not been really advocates of that, but it's something that is affecting us. And I am of the view that I want to start a campaign on this platform. I'm sure when I have the opportunities on other platforms too, I'll talk about them. That it's about time that we need to open public washrooms to the public, so that at every point, anywhere you park, you know that this school, I can use it. Even if we have to commercialize it, let's use it. Yeah. Okay. Now, on flood, I don't know, because I am sure Jantuah is quite old in terms of experience and in terms of age, and will bear with me that when it comes to the flood conversation, I am sure even when maybe during President Rawlings' time it was discussed, President Kufuor's time, same discussion, President Mills up to this time, same discussion.
It was during President Kufuor's time that there was the policy, water policy.
So I mean, as I sit here, I just even felt not to even talk about it, because I felt like whichever way, next year we'll still come to even discuss the same thing, and whatever you say may not even go anywhere. But I'm happy with Osman's presentation, especially how he depoliticized it, because, I mean, bottom line is that we are all tired of politicizing this whole flood discussion, because you never know when you even become a victim. And it may not even be your own creation, but a decision by somebody to build in a water runway, a decision by somebody not to observe, or in terms of the general performance on sanitation laws, somebody not going by it, you may even be a victim of that. So I'm happy when he said that some of these discussions, we should not politicize it. But there is one trend that probably our attention has also not gone on as a people, especially when it comes to Accra. There is a creeping elitism culture where almost everyone now have to tile his house or concrete it instead of leaving spaces for the water to drain. I don't know whether it's a culture of elitism, because Jantuah, and I'm sure all of us has had the experience to travel. If you go to other jurisdictions, there every house has a garden. So automatically,
is it really elitism? Sometimes it's space. People want more space.
I think,
but you can still get space with the bare land and planting grasses.
On this matter, Kwasi, let me just
very well
a bit of my expertise.
Very well. I'll be glad.
And a special design person. You see, building regulations. When you build your house, now the space around the house, 60% of it is supposed to be soft landscape. That is grass, trees, and 40% of it should be hard landscape.
Do we have such laws here?
Yes. It's part of the building regulation. That is what is supposed. So 60% of your compound is supposed to be soft landscape for trees, grass, to allow for the seepage, as you said, and 60% of it should be grass, and 40% to allow for the car to park. But Lily said something is due to space.
Yes.
So you realize that everyone is trying to, tile the whole compound. It's trying to pave the whole compound just to find space to be able to park. And they're going to put 2 or 3 flower pots around.
Exactly.
In actual sense, I disagree with the space. In actual sense, move to most of the elite communities, Cantonment, East Legon, and you realize that it's not because. That's why I use that it's GHOne OV van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rawlings' state funeral, Miss Africa Awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GHOne van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing,
Like anything you need a van to work for you, GHOne provides it.
My experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. You know, the van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew, ICC, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter who's in that studio as well and get that running.
To give an experience to our audience who are also watching on TVs and online, work with an Exo technology system which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras, like a lot of other stuff in terms of content you need to get also for your live broadcasts. I prefer the GHOne van to a lot of other vans I've used, or even doing my own setup on a tabletop setup, because on a production you see a number of people in the van, and so if you have a very small van, it means that it's going to be choked, and that will affect the creativity as well. The price has been discounted as well to accommodate varied budgets, and so no matter the budget you have, I understand you can have the truck and do business with it. It looks huge but very affordable. Cost is really affordable. My experience with this EMI awards last year.
No, I don't have. I don't drive a Land Cruiser. I drive a pickup in the Highland. I don't drive a.
You don't own a Land Cruiser. You don't drive a Land Cruiser.
I don't even own one.
Okay.
I don't own one. It's okay. You don't force me. I'm not a public official. Don't force me to declare my assets. Osman is the one to declare his assets.
He has a Land Cruiser which was given to him.
He's a big man.
He's a big man.
Is
the first day he went to office, he went to the. He had 5 Land Cruisers following. I remember. We had the video. Then I don't want to play with you.
Let's talk about the plant.
So like, I mean, in ending, my point is that when it comes to our general performance on enforcement of certain laws, i.e. sanitation laws, road safety laws, our environmental protection laws, is very low. And I mean, bottom line is that we can also leave it to our conscience or attitude or our culture. At the end of the day, leadership must also intervene, because I recall my auntie my auntie was married to one young man, and when he came home, he drank water just through the rubber just inside the hall. And my auntie asked a question that, US Akabeya Dewi. Then he became conscious of himself, that in US he can't do same, but here he can do that because of enforcement. So when it comes to enforcement, I'm sure the whole thing boils down to that. If you leave people to their conscience, if you lead people to their attitude, if you leave people to their conscience, if you lead people to their attitude, if you expect people to have some form of maintenance culture, certainly they won't do it. You have to get personnel for it. You have to get budgetary allocations for it. But even with all what I'm saying, I don't believe that anything will change even next year. I don't believe, and not because I don't trust the current administration, but as a people, we need to take a collective responsibility that when it comes to the war against flooding, we've not prioritized it enough. We've had conversations about the economy. We've used the forex exchange for campaign before. When it comes to education, on job market, we've used it before. But it appears when it comes to flooding, it's not become a topical priority. Maybe it's also because it's seasonal. Yes, it's not become a national conversation. Maybe it's also because it's seasonal. When it comes after all, some 1 month, 2 months, it be a bit chemical. So I mean, after all, what is the point? So it's about time that maybe some of you media houses should also help us. That we make it quite topical. Let's press on leadership. Let's demand accountability. Let's set KPIs, and let's mark ourselves when it comes to what we've done. Because other than that, we may, in the next 4, in the next 8, in the next 16, 20 years, I mean, irrespective of when government comes into power, we'll still be having this whole flood conversation. But in ending, like I earlier indicated, the whole point boils down to enforcement of the laws. And we must also admit that we've not prioritized it enough. And we must also admit that as a people, when it comes to enforcement, on some soft laws, our general performance has been low. And I am hoping that, of course, I do not expect President Mahama to do magic when it comes to the fight against this old flood. But at least reasonably within the space that he's had the 4 years, we are all praying that he does something also very remarkable. At least he can pick one point. It could be the enforcement of these are special laws. It could also even be the construction of the drainage, so that we know that within his 4 years he did this. Other government that comes also take it from there.
Now, yes, yesterday a very critical point was raised about the National Disaster Management Organization, where we need to depoliticize it, such that persons who are well versed in managing these issues or who have the knowledge on disaster management will be put at the helm of affairs. And so there is no, this person comes in after 4 years or after 8 years, and then there's a new Director General, but a constant person who rises through the ranks. Do you think it's time for that, Mr. Jantuah?
When was the flooding at Circle? Was it May?
June 3. June 3, 2015.
What did we say?
Never again.
This thing, never again, won't happen again. Are we not getting flooding? It's not got to do with somebody with experience. Somebody might have experience. Are they able to impact that experience in decision making? Because you tend to find that decision making is mostly political. I don't understand why today we still build narrow drains. I don't understand why today we can't cover our drains. I don't understand. Doesn't make sense to me. We should be able to move with the times, because my growing up is different from today. The population when I was growing up was small. Population today in Ghana is what? 32 million
About 33.
33 million people? And that 33 million people comes with responsibility, comes with added people, plenty, added work, added drainage, comes with all these things. In certain countries, they've been able to do away with what? Plastic water, what do you call it? Sachet
Plastics
water.
in general.
Plastics in general. And the fact that somebody has experience, even when that person tries to enforce the experience they have, the politician will say, you can't do that, because they are thinking of something else. They are thinking of how it will impact votes for them come an election time. Because what the person who's experienced is saying could be the right thing, and could it could stop people from doing the things that are detrimental to society. A typical example is this pavement thing. The mayor is trying his best to declutter the roads because hawkers are now selling in the roads and it's causing challenges. I wouldn't want to hear that a higher person has told him stop what you are doing, because definitely there's going to be a clash somewhere if it's not handled well, because the people are determined to stay. He's determined to move them. He's given them time to move. They haven't moved because they're saying you need to find somewhere for us. But when you were coming there, did somebody tell you to come there?
No.
And maybe it's got to do with planning also. For me, this whole entire flooding business has got to do with efficient planning. When we did the long-term national development plan, there is a whole chapter on spatial planning. And we used Tema as an example. When Tema was being built, it was spatially planned. It's only recently you're hearing floods in Tema. Before, you hardly hear floods in Tema. And it's got to do with human activity and how we handle our rubbish. And so, yes, you might have experienced people. The politician will come, probably take that experienced person out, bring someone who's in that experience. That person doesn't know the intricacies of, how to handle a flood. NADMO might not have the resources to help out. So it is something that we need to all sit down and make sure that we plan it well. the people, technical people who are going to be there, the kind of drainage we should have, the amounts of money that we require. Because nowadays, when you want to do something, they say, Abaini Sika, Abaini Sika, Abaini Sika. But you see Abaini sitting in, what do you call it, 4x4s with a motorcade. You see it. Do we not pay for that motorcade? Do we not buy petrol for the, what do you call it? So where is that money coming from? Things should be done for the people. The people vote a government in power for them to take care of the affairs of their country, and they expect positive results from that. And when those positive results aren't coming, it brings challenges. Because it is sad for you to hear people on radio gone through a flood saying, Abayin Mebwayeng. It should be from the district, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's the district who should handle these things.
But district is Abayin, isn't it?
It's Abayin, but they have a certain power, don't they?
They do.
That it shouldn't transcend to, the upper echelons of government. The districts must have the wherewithal. The districts must have the finances. The districts must have that maintenance culture. So come dry season, check all the drains. Look at the drains that need expanding. Expand it. You don't understand why they build a new road and the drain is Chechopwa. You don't understand it. You don't understand it. When the drain should be bigger, because it's leading into some kind of a reservoir or into the sea, it should be able to move the water, to flow. So yes, you might have an experienced person, but if that experienced person is not given the chance to use their experience, then it becomes a problem. And basically, it boils down to the politician.
Osman, let me take your 2 cents on that. And then
I agree with Mr. Jantuah. I think we need to really look at the drainage system, and the engineers need to also really look at the designs of the drainage system. For Greco's example, for want of a better expression, I can't understand why a bridge that was built like 3-4 years ago
will break down.
So what measurement went into it? And that's the technical people. What went into the design? Because a politician doesn't design the bridges. He doesn't design the drains. His is just to make sure that whatever designs or technical drawings you've brought, he looks for the resources to make sure that it's executed or it's implemented. So it's better for you to even build huge drains that most of the time will be empty than for you to build small drains that would overflow and finally lead into flooding. So I think the technical people need to be up and doing. But for today, I don't want to go into blame game, this ministry, this technical person, but everybody has to be
up and doing. Okay, Kwasi.
Well, your question was whether the NADMO should
depoliticize NADMO.
I'm not sure the problem has to do with the politicization of NADMO or not, because, NADMO comes in after the flood has occurred, not before. So when it comes to NADMO's response, I'm not sure there is so much problem with that. I mean, NADMO, anytime there is a resource, certainly they are going to respond. Maybe they should. It has more to do with collaborating with other state institutions when it comes to even educating those within those catchment areas about leaving the place. Meteo is able to prompt people that, well, we are going to have rains to this measure, this is going to cause flooding. Maybe when it comes to that level of collaboration, I agree. But bottom line, I agree with what Jantuah said. At the end of the day, you see, we have a governance system that is also worrying us, where we've overly centralized everything. And so, largely what we are having is not really decentralization or local government. What we are having, if you ask me, has more to do with maybe local administration, where they are just there more or less like ceremonial, and you may not even have the necessary financial muscles to take charge and precedence and take control and make decisions when it comes to solving and enforcement of some of these basic rules to make sure that we solve some of these perennial problems. Because at the end of the day, if you are really empowered the local governance structures and the local government systems, I am sure would have moved at a pace where we may not necessarily have to rely on central government to mobilize such huge funds, whether millions of dollars, to address this problem. So maybe we should also look at this place. Let's indeed give local governance its true meaning. Empower the local governance system, make sure that they are able to raise monies to address the basic challenges that affect them, i.e. drainage building, i.e. enforcement of laws, when it comes to spatial laws, and all other relevant laws or sanitation laws. And we will be able to see that when the cascading effect of each district or each local government or each constituency putting some of these measures, you realize that the cascading effect may reflect in reducing some of these. Other than that, if we all sit here and expect that central government goes and finds some millions of dollars somewhere to address this problem, I'm not sure we'll go anywhere. So I agree that we should also give true meaning to the local governments, collaborate more, institutions should collaborate more in the addressing of this menace.
Right. Let's move to our next topic. An issue that borders on constitutional law. A former parliamentary aspirant for Adenta is asking President Mahama to dissolve the committee that is overseeing the petitions for the removal of the Chief Justice, Gertrude Tokuno. Mr. Jantuah, let me start with you again. Yes.
Why?
Because he ended.
No. You start with Osman. He's a government person.
No,
He's a government person. He's a government person.
Today I said it's a battle of the Esquires, so let me get to your thoughts.
What are you asking me again?
On the removal of the CJ, Adenta Kumi, that's what he's popularly known as. He's a former parliamentary aspirant for Adenta. He says that, well, the committee overseeing the removal for the petitions for the removal of the CJ is compromised because, according to him, they were seen with lawyers for the petitioner, for some of the petitioners, eating at a restaurant. So there's a likelihood
Is this
of
something
bias.
that we have to discuss here?
Is that the legal basis of the petition?
Is this news?
Is that the legal basis of the petition?
Is this news? Is this news? Lily, is this news?
Is it not?
Is it
Likelihood
news?
of bias, is it
Looking
not?
at the basis why he is asking for it, is it news?
Is it not?
So, I'm in a case with
Kwasi.
Kwasi or Osman. Mm-hmm. We have argued in court very strenuously. He's made his point. I've made my point. Judge has adjourned. And because of that, we step outside and we are fighting. Is that what he's telling us? Huh? Court is court. Once we leave court, we are private people. He's my friend, he's my friend. The fact that you see me eating with him doesn't mean that the case is being compromised. Is there not a judge? What is the use of a judge in court?
He claims that he overheard them discussing issues of the petition.
How can we believe what he said? Did he record what he heard? Lily, I don't know why we are discussing this, seriously.
But
Look. There is a process. When a petition is sent to the president for the removal of the Chief Justice, there is a process. The question should be, was that process followed?
yes.
And if that process was followed, shouldn't it come to its logical conclusion? Just because you see lawyers from the opposite sides talking, and even outside the court, the court building, do we not see lawyers the opposite side talking?
They do.
Even inside they talk.
I know. If I were in court with him, afterwards we came out, both of us will stand and discuss the case. Will we not?
Oh, it's a normal practice.
It's a normal practice.
Even inside.
Sometimes
Sometimes the clients are not happy.
Yes.
So
that basis, I don't want to use a certain word. I don't want to use it, so I will not use it. But he should go and educate himself as to the practices of lawyers. Go educate himself. How many times do you see lawyers come out and they are fighting or insulting each other? It's a practice.
Even when politicians go on platforms after heated shows, they still go out there.
I said Parliament. When they had that row in Parliament, they came out and were sitting down eating together. So, look, that basis, I don't think the basis is tenuous enough for us to even discuss. just because he's seen two lawyers, what do you call it? Probably he's looking for his own, time to be recognized. What does he do and who is he?
He's a former parliamentary aspirant for Adenta.
Parliamentary aspirant for Adenta. Maybe he's trying to show that I'm still
for the NPP.
I'm still alive. Maybe
so he's still alive.
Yeah, still alive.
That's very mean.
Because really, no, I don't understand his basis. His basis is flawed. You said you heard the two lawyers talk about the case. Did the judge tell the two lawyers that don't talk about the case? Was there some kind of order from the judge that this case should only be discussed in my courtroom? Did he hear that? So he heard. Did he record? If he's saying what they said is prejudicial to the case, did he record it? For him to come and play the recording to us? I don't see it. There is a process. Has the process been followed? Yes, the process is being followed. Let it come to an end. And let's see what the verdict of that process is. Period. I really don't see what the comment is. I'm sorry.
Osman. Then we can talk about Dr. Bawumia.
You say it's called Adenta.
So we'll talk about Dr. Bawumia.
Of course, we have to talk about Dr. Bawumia.
I'm even surprised we are talking about Adenta Kwame. I think we are even trying to give him oxygen in this fruitless, needless petition of his. And Mr. Jantuah said something, and it just reminded me of a senior colleague. And when my brother said something, it reminded me of a senior colleague. This is a true life story. Who, after heated argument in court, the lawyer on the other side was actually his classmate. So they came out and they were chatting and they were smiling. And his client took offense and actually reported him to legal counsel. Yes. No, he doesn't trust his lawyer. He suspects his lawyer has gone to cut a deal with the other lawyer because when they closed court, they were busy chatting and smiling.
So they should be enemies after.
And he actually went to a legal counsel to actually defend himself. He was given a whole lot of hectic time. So, I mean, some of these reports are needless. I mean, assuming even without admitting that you said people were seen eating and you overheard them. I mean, this is needless. This is frivolous. And as Mr. Jantuah said, maybe he's just trying to make himself popular or make himself recognized more in the MPP. Maybe he's trying to catch the eye of Kwasi Kwarteng and the big men in the MPP. Kwasi Kwarteng's candidate, Kennedy Japan. He's trying to catch his candidate's eye. Maybe he'll make him a campaign.
But if I catch his eye, we have to take a petition. Come to his house or come to the campaign.
He's trying to petition so that MPP would also recognize that he's working. In opposition, he's working for the party in opposition. So please, Adenta Kwame, I don't even want us to waste so much time. It's much ado about nothing. Adenta Kwame's petition is much ado about nothing. It's just.
I've actually seen Justice what do you call it? Thaddeus respond to it on social media that it is a monstrous lie and that there is no such meeting.
If he has the evidence, if he has enough proof, if he has proof to actually prove that yes, he overheard them and this was the conversation they were having and it could actually go a long way to jeopardize the outcome of the case, then he's free to bring. But just don't petition based on storytelling. No, if he has the evidence, why not? He should bring it forward.
Kwasi, let me take your 2 cents. Then we can talk about your friend. Talks about me.
Well,
so he will speak first on that.
Oh yes, that is why I went to Jantuah.
But you'll come back this way.
I am here to represent the MPP, which is Dr. Bawumia. It's part, so don't worry. Well, on the said petition, I am yet to fully. Even first of all, see and comprehend the legal basis upon which such a petition is being filed. But you will recall that the Supreme Court had made decisive pronouncements when it comes to the standard of proof of bias, where you have to prove not just speculations but real likelihood of bias. Yes. So that is established, and I'm sure there are authorities to act on his petition, so I will not want to discuss the merit of the petition. But bottom line is that the whole conversation boils down to the removal of the CJ, which I have made several arguments. I mean, Nana Jantuah said that it's done within the remit of the law, but I mean, I hold an exception to that. That we will recall what Montesquieu said. He said the worst form of tyranny is the one that is done under the guise of the law in the name of justice, which I am of the opinion that we should hasten slowly when it comes to attacking such institutions, because if we are not very careful, we may rely on Article 146 under the name of Article 146, under the umbrella of Article 146, and we write the Constitution to construe the office of the Chief Justice to be an appointee of the President, which would be a dangerous precedent for all of us to set.
Kwasi, an individual brought a petition.
Yes,
shouldn't the President?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That if you want to be extremely legalistic, I've made a case on this platform that bad laws are also laws, and if you may even have good laws which may be abused, there's a more reason why even the Constitution talks about the application of discretionary powers and gives a threshold as how it's being applied. So even the Constitution envisages that when it comes to, let's say, the suspension of the Chief Justice, recall that in the whole process, if you look at 146, 8 or 11, when it comes to the suspension, it doesn't use shall, it uses may. So, I mean, there is that possibility that it can be abused. Nana Jantuah, if you agree with me, slave trade was backed by law, human sacrifice at some point was backed by law, apartheid was backed by law. So if the logic is that because it's written within the law and that it is being followed, I just have a news for you, that there has been situations where the law has justified wrongdoings, and the law has been a basis to even perpetuating injustice. And I see, same. My point is that when it comes me, I've always been biased towards protection of state institutions and certain individuals. I've set an example of Dotumfo, that prior to the 2024 elections, he was vilified, almost his reputation brought down by people on social media. But today, we needed him to also mediate when it comes to the Boko conflict and Boko crisis. So we should be very careful and very mindful and hasten slowly. When it comes to, for instance, the judiciary, it doesn't have arms, they don't have guns, they don't have ammunition. It thrives on the trust and the confidence that we repose in them. And all other sectors of our economy, all other sectors of our livelihood, being it business, being it safety, being it security, is placed in the judiciary. So if you are not very careful and we reduce the premium and the value that we place on the judiciary, I'm not sure it will augur well for all of us. I've heard other counter arguments that if people did worse by removing Charlotte Osei, and I maintain that if the removal of the current CJ is to avenge that of Charlotte Osei, then it lacks merit even in the first place. So you should be very careful. But as to, I think I didn't even want to miss the trust of the matter. For me, the trust of the matter is more substantial too. A supposed petition. It doesn't also necessarily mean that I'm rubbishing his petition. I have not read it. I believe that same will be addressed. Same will be addressed. But
he doesn't want to talk about the apology. He's talking so much about
which apology?
It's okay. We are done with the petition. Let's go into the apology. Move from the main. He has set his own question and he's answering.
We won't discuss it.
You people are gagging me. I don't feel safe. I feel abused. I feel gagged. Host, you need to protect me. That's not what I signed for this morning. You need to protect me.
I am protecting you. That's what I talking about.
I feel gagged. I feel gagged. You need to protect me.
All the way at it, he also said, I'm done talking.
Yes. No, they are gagging me. They are not pretending to be the host.
You apologize.
Smuggling in new topics. Why? Why are you smuggling in new topics? Are you the host?
You apologize. Let's go.
I'm listening to you.
Make sure you watch his Bawumia presentation, because you will change it and go somewhere.
Anyway, are you done with your submission?
Yes, I'm done. What is your next question? I thought you were going to start from here.
No, I want to start from here. Let's talk about Dr. Bawumia. Dr. Bawumia has apologized to his party and Ghanaians for the defeat of the NPP and has assured that the NPP will return to power in 2028. He did the same during the NPP thank you tour in Goso. And does it appear that Dr. Bawumia is also on an apology spree? Was that not the first thing he should have done during the thank you tour? Instead of a thank you tour, an apology tour?
I know where Ayariga and my uncle Jantuah is arriving at. And I insist, they want to gag me.
How do I have asked you a question?
I know, I'm coming, I'm answering. I'm laying a foundation. And even as I speak, they are marking me. knowing very well that I represent Ken, I'm the face of his campaign. And so they are trying to get something that will be off my presentation. But look, bottom line is that I am first a member of the New Patriotic Party.
Absolutely.
Before I aligned with any person.
Who is also a member of the NPP?
Yes, who is a member of the NPP. Of course, it is not in dispute that when it comes to the 2028 general elections, and of course our impending primaries, it is not in dispute that I've openly endorsed the candidature of the Honorable Kennedy Japan. But I am also mindful that I'm within a party and we have rules and regulations. And as at now, I am here on the ticket of the party, not to promote my candidate or my ally any candidate.
Not to state that you are connected.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, for connected, I'm connected. But I mean, to the substantive issue, I am of the view that what Dr. Bawumia did was right, is in order. There comes a time where leadership, you have to demonstrate leadership by accepting responsibility and looking into the face of the people that gave you the opportunity and say that, yes, we made series of promises. Everybody that comes into power, you campaign based on certain policies and ideas. And based on that policies and ideas, the good people of Ghana votes for you. Certainly, I mean, there are some that you're able to fulfill. There are some that you are also unable to fulfill. There are even situations where you may even have to make very unpopular decisions. You recall the DDEP, you recall the E-levy. These are all unpopular decisions. And I'm not sure any government was comfortable doing that. But those were decisions that were relevant within the exigencies of the moment. We've passed that stage. The good people of Ghana who gave the mandate believe that we should set aside for other people to continue. Reasonably, there are two things that is expected of you. First of all, you take responsibility by apologizing to them, saying you are sorry, and secondly, also thanking them for the mandate that they give to you. And I am of the view that that is what the former Flagbearer and former Vice President Dr. Bawumia has done. So for me, it's in the right order. I mean, it's not only him, the entire party has made such a call. I recall when we were also even on the thank you tour, similar calls were made by other people who falls. The Honorable Ken himself also made a similar call, also apologizing. The entire party has also made same. Even if you look at our posture, our conduct, certainly it marks that of people who are apologetic. And please, I mean, I know you play me safe with that, but it's also very natural. You see, don't let us pretend that this is only happening to the NPP. You see, at the end of the day, if you recall, just some 4-8 years back, we had similar comments from the NDC as well. Because at the end of the day, the expectations are that very wild. The same basis and the same reasons upon which even successive governments were removed, even from the military era till now, are the same fundamental reasons upon which governments are removed. On matters of unemployment, or matters of solving galaxy, or matters of solving them. So our challenges are many, but just that when you come in, you may not be able to solve all of them. You do your part and leave. But bottom line is that you take responsibility, become a leader, speak like a leader, and say that, look, this place, things did not go well. I'm not sure this is the first time this happened. President Mahama also the same. Even for him, he even have to tell Ghanaians that he has changed. He's a new person. And even have to be rebranded. Mahama is the hope. Today we believe same. So we'll come back very stronger.
So you believe that you are going to rebrand Dr. Bawumia for 2028?
What kind of tricky question is that?
you lay a premise. You said President Mahama
wants to rebrand Ken. Why are
you?
I'm
asking.
Whether we are going to rebrand Bawumia. Well, it is not in dispute that Dr. Bawumia himself will contest. If you look at his conduct, his public statements, his remarks, certainly he will contest. But you see, we are in a party of rule of law. We are in a party of democracy. we are looking at about 230,000 delegates, polling station executives. We may even be considering expansion, which is a matter of necessity, which may double up to about 3. So closely about 700,000 people will decide. So I am sure everybody will rebrand himself, whether Kennedy Japan, whether Bawumia. My former boss and still my boss, Dr. Duchum. I'm also aware Dr. Bl will also contest. At the end of the day, people will decide. So yes, the party
I am wondering why you didn't support
rebrand.
Your former boss, though.
My former boss. Yes, I believe in him. I believe he's capable of leading the MPP, just like all the other candidates. But within the exigencies of the moment, the present time, I am of the view that if the caveat has more to do with who can win as power in 2028, I am of the view that Ken has another advantage to getting us 2028. Maybe subsequently, all the other candidates may come in.
And if he doesn't win, you throw your support behind anybody else?
Come again?
If he doesn't win?
I mean, as a party person, you have no option.
Okay.
People never supported Dr. Bawumia, but when he won, even Ken himself supported him when after the primaries. Just so anybody who wins will all support him. But for me, what we are most interested now is not even about the Flagbearer. It's about demanding accountability from our people. Because yes, we are Ghanaians, we are members in the opposition, but we need to demand accountability from what they promise. Are they solving Dumso? Are they solving Galamsey? The unemployment issue? These are practical things that they have to address. Today we are talking about flooding. These are things that they have to address. It's also not a way to be dismissive about the reality that we are confronted with. But even when it comes to the conversation about MPP, our position is that the party need to be rebranded. The party need to, and to borrow their words, reset, not now their current reset, the true meaning of a reset.
So now you want your party to be reset?
No, I mean certainly every
you say you upgraded. Now you want to reset?
Certainly every party that goes into opposition has to reset. Okay. You need to reset before you upgrade and promote the peace and harmony in the and unity in the party. And
in the spirit of reset, sorry to cut in, the spirit of resetting, are you then going to make public the Okwe report to members of your party, grassroots people? Because if it's sitting on a shelf, how then do people know that, okay, this is where we went wrong, so this is how we can write it?
I think for me, the most important thing is to implement the recommendations within the Okwe report. There are some reports that will be classified. If you recall that of, is it Mr. Butcher, Kwasi Butcher's report? It was also a classified information. You see, in Accra, we say YNC and Tumagofi the Airborne. There are some, I mean, considering the political realities, sometimes you don't put your head on the line like that and give a cutlass to your opponent. We know what these people can do with it. Remember, they started page 66. They quoted page 66 for like 100 times. With different content, and we did the same to them. I mean, those are so some of the other aspects with the political realities that we are confronted with. But bottom line is that yes, there is a report. The report acknowledges the factors that caused our defeat. The report also acknowledges.
Was Dr. Bawumia principal in your defeat?
I have not read the report myself. I do not want to impugn one person as causing the defeat. What I believe in is for all of us to take responsibility as a party. When we rise together. When we fall together. I know where you are taking me to. I mean, the time for the internal politics will come. but for now, we are crowded. Let's protect it. I don't think the reports may pinpoint one person, but it may be a number of factors that may have caused the defeat. But I'm sure the report covers him and has given recommendations to it for us to address. Would you ask the other people questions?
I asked there was a write-up you did, but I'll come back to that later on Dr. Bawumia. No, I want to pull it up on Dr. Bawumia on Dr. Bawumia.
It's on religion.
Yes, so I'll pull that up. But
very well.
Let me take I'll take your submission, but I need to take this quick break so that I can make some money. When I return, I'll take their submissions on Dr. Bawumia's candidature.
GHOne OV van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rollis' state funeral, Miss Africa Awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GHOne van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing, like anything you need a van to work for you, GHOne provides it.
My experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. You know, the van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew, ICCU, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter or host in that studio as well and get that running.
To give an experience to our audience who are also watching on TVs and online, work with an Access technology system which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras, like a lot of other stuff in terms of content you need to get also for your live broadcasts.
I prefer the GHOne van to a lot of other vans I've used, or even doing my own setup on a tabletop setup, because on a production you see a number of people in the van, and so if you have a very small van, it means that it's going to be choked, and that will affect the creativity as well. The price has been discounted as well to accommodate varied budgets, and so no matter the budget you have, I understand you can have the track and do business with it.
It looks huge but very affordable. Cost is really, really affordable. My experience with this EMI Awards last year, super excellent. Try it, call them, and I'm going to give you the best of price. Really affordable.
From that break, now Savannah Paint is 100 years. There's the parent company, Azar Group, is 100 years, producing paint since 1921. We created Savannah Paint in both acrylic, emulsion, and oil to give you great coverage at an unbeatable price. We all go paint some. Whether you are a beginner, amateur, or professional painter, just choose Savannah Paint. It's everybody's paint. We give you best value for money. Paint more, pay less. Savannah Paint. We all go paint some. For more information, contact 055 5333 888, 055 5333 888, or simply go on to our website www.azarchemicalindustries.com. Now, let me tell you how you can make some good money, or you can simply enjoy a trip to Dubai. Celebrate 40 years with us in our Star Assurance 40 Reasons to Smile promo. from now till the end of the year, you could be one of our many lucky winners to walk away with a whopping 10,000 cedis in quarterly draws and the grand prize of enjoying the luxurious Dubai city. To participate visit our online portal at customer.starassurance.com, customer.starassurance.com, or you can simply call us 0302 751 333 0302 751 333 to buy or renew your existing motor insurance policy, or you can also walk into any of our branches nationwide. Be a lucky winner today. Star Assurance, we are your solid partner. Now, Sankofa Natural Spices is offering you a range of packaging sizes to suit your everyday cooking needs, including 5 grams, 25 grams, and then 240-gram options. For those of you who say they don't eat spices, garlic, ginger, fomwisa, nkiti, and surisa are all ingredients which has been grounded and put into the sachets for your convenience, so you don't have to be chewing a chunks of spices. Find Sankofa Natural Spices in most supermarkets or corner shops, markets nationwide. For inquiries or bulk purchases, you can simply call us on 055 560 3143 055 560 3143. Let's come back and talk about Dr. Bawumia. Osman.
Yes, Lily, the hallmark of every leader should be primarily honesty. You should be honest in everything that you do. For me, where I sit and the kind of apology I see emanating from Bawumia, I do not see honesty. I still see dishonesty even in his apology. Why do I say this? First and foremost, why is Dr. Bawumia apologizing? And who is he apologizing to? And what is the intent of that apology? You realize Bawumia is apologizing to his MPP members, and he's apologizing to them because he's trying to seek re-election. Bawumia should be apologizing to the good people of this country. Bawumia should be apologizing to Ghanaians. Bawumia should be apologizing to the thousands of pensioners who suffered and some died as a result of the DDEP. Bawumia should be apologizing to the youth of this country after he failed them through NAPCO. Bawumia should be apologizing to the youth of this country when they disappointed the youth by that program called You Start. Bawumia should be apologizing to the youth of this country for not giving them jobs, and apologizing to the youth of this country for burdening us with e-levy and betting tax and all the taxes that has put us through suffering and pain. He should be apologizing to Ghanaians for taking us through that excruciating pain and hardship. He should be apologizing to us first. But what has he done? He has conveniently forgotten about us Ghanaians, that he made us go through this hardship for the last 8 years under the MPP, and is conveniently apologizing only to the MPP members because he is seeking re-election. This is the hallmark of dishonesty. Bawumia is simply being dishonest. He's just looking for ways and means to seek re-election within the MPP. And for that, for us Ghanaians, we will not sit aloof and allow Bawumia to deceive us once again. If you look at the trajectory and the way Bawumia is going, this is akin or analogous to the acts of a con artist to deceive people so as to go in a particular way.
I don't think that's a fair comment. The con artist, I don't think.
No, but who is a con artist? A con artist is someone who comes out to deceive you, and he's deceiving Ghanaians once again.
It's not.
He's deceiving Ghanaians once again. I don't know why you decide to look at it in terms of con artist. Yes, you can Google what a con artist is. Con artist is someone. If I come here and I decide to deceive you to do something in a way that I want you to do it, knowing that I am being dishonest, I am being a con artist, and that is where I'm deriving that word from. So he's trying to deceive Ghanaians, deceive the good people of the MPP that he is changed, when in actual fact he hasn't changed. He should come out and be very honest and apologize to the good people of Ghana. He should apologize to us and even be congratulating the NDC. Bawumia should be apologizing to us due to his inability to even manage a currency and be congratulating the likes of Ato Fawcett. You remember Bawumia saying the strong economic management team, Professor Jan Bafwa, Akoto say, Alan Tremantin, strong economic management team. What that 7-member committee headed by Dr. Bawumia couldn't do, one man Ato Fawcett has done it.
Take your time, take your time.
So please, when you are talking, allow me to learn.
Please allow him.
allow me to land.
Before they say, I don't support Bawumia.
No.
That's
What
why.
Bawumia couldn't do, yes, what Bawumia and his 7-member economic management team couldn't do, Atufossin has done within 5-6 months. So Bawumia should be apologizing to Ghana and congratulating the likes of Atufossin. Bawumia should be apologizing to Ghanaians and congratulating His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. That is what he should be doing. There we can now understand the sincerity of his apology. But if he's still going on this tangent of trying to deceive the MPP members, I think the MPP members are wide awakened and they should know that what Bawumia is doing and the theatrics, again, is all about dishonesty. And I'll repeat again, the theatrics and the dishonesty are all, attributes of someone who's trying to be a con artist. So if I say he's been a con artist because he's trying to deceive the MPP, deceive Ghanaians that he's a changed man now, and for that matter, he's apologized. Bawumia's apology is a very dishonest apology, and Ghanaians will not take that apology. You should come and apologize to us, and not go to UK and go and apologize to MPP members in the UK. You should come and sit down and tell us, Ghanaians, I'm sorry. A, B, C, D. We took you through this hardship. We're unable to manage the currency. We're unable to manage the economy. We're unable to give you jobs. We're unable to meet your expectations. We are sorry to industry. Then Ghanaians will listen to his apology. But for you to go and apologize to MPP members because your primaries is just around the corner and you are trying to seek re-election, he's been very dishonest about his apology. And I don't think Ghanaians will take Bawumia and his apology seriously.
Mr. Jantuah.
He had more time than me.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
He wishes I was even giving more time. He wishes I was even giving more time.
What do you mean?
Mr. Jantuah, please.
What do you mean?
He wants to give me more time.
He had more time than me. I'm very attentive.
Jantuah, please.
I'm not being treated fairly.
Really, what do you want me to say? The people of Ghana made the decision. We don't want you because you have done things wrong. At the time, you thought you were doing things right. No matter what was said, you decided, no, we'll stick to that. The good thing here is that the scepter of Akufo-Addo would not haunt Bawumia. Hopefully. Hopefully. Because what did he say to us? The driver's mate. So the scepter of Akufo-Addo would be away. Whether that scepter of Akufo-Addo will still haunt him is the challenge. What did he say? We got many things wrong. Please forgive us. At the time, did he not see it? At the time, did he not realize they were getting things wrong? And if he did, what did he do to rectify it? He cannot use this excuse to now let us feel that he's a changed person. It's not going to be easy. Because the stalwarts within the MPP who are also interested, including his candidate, who are also interested in standing, would tell him the MPP government has never in its history been defeated with this majority. So really and truly, we don't think that if we put you up again, there's no guarantee that you might win. However, there are others in line who, their supporters, might run, like his candidate. That's why he finds it difficult saying things that might tilt the thought of people to his candidate. Yes, he's an MPP guy, because he's an MPP person. He's one of the MPP people who are discretional and who say things as it is, whether it affects the party or... There are a number of MPP people in the party who do that. And I bet your bottom city, if Kwasi wasn't aligned, you would see his true thoughts about what happened 2024. I believe that yes, Dr. Bawumia will stand again. He has made comment that in Ghanaian political history, you might come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times before you are accepted. He has been with us since 2008. How many years? He doesn't need to come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. He is known. Whether the people of Ghana feel he would be the right person to take over. And remember, it also depends on how President Mahama's tenure turns out for Ghanaians. If Ghanaians feel President Mahama has done a good job, irrespective of who takes over from him, it would help the party come back into power.
Right.
It is when people feel, and this is where the crossroads would happen, and this is where his party would have to decide whether they should take Bawumia or someone else. If President Mahama is not able to show to the people of Ghana that he's achieved the promises he gave Ghanaians.
Right.
If he's able to do that, and somebody takes over, and I always use my party as an example. Who was Liman? Who knew Liman? Who was the one? Who were the ones who campaigned for Liman to win? It was all God. My father and Igala and those guys. They campaigned for Liman to win. Liman was nobody. Nobody knew him. So it doesn't really matter whether there's a new guy coming on in NDC's shoes. Because if the people feel good work has been done, the promises given have been done, Ghana has been able to turn around, the cedi has continuously been stable, inflation has dropped, jobs are working, people have jobs, education is going well, agriculture is going well, health is going well, transportation is going well, energy is going well. Why would Ghanaians say we are changing? That is where the battle would be as to whether Bawumia comes or Bawumia doesn't come, because there would be a huge road to travel, and it could also happen. It could, and I never ever take that out of the equation. It could also happen that come 2028, then Nkrumah's sides to decide to, this time we are coming strong. That would be a battle. If they get the right person, if they can prove to the people of Ghana that we are ready for governance, it would not be easy. And that would also put pressure on whether, based on 2024 election, whether Dr. Bawumia would be the right person for the job. So, it's open season. Right now at this point, you can say anything, because we are not even close to 2028 election. But as it draws nearer, and the of the NDC and other political parties, that is where GHOne is starting. So let's see. He's at liberty, and I'm glad that he's been able to apologize. But the apology for me is neither here nor there, because Ghanaians have told you, we did not like what you said, we don't like what you do, we don't like your the way you ruled us. So out, let another party come in. So let's see.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Oh, not even.
You have a rebuttal?
Oh, just a quick one.
Okay, sure.
From the news headline that your producer shares, he said, we got many things wrong. Please forgive us. Bawumia begged Ghanaians. So I don't think he was necessarily really addressing MPP UK chapter alone, because I'm not sure. I mean, how many are they? If the logic is that he's doing that,
but they're also Ghanaians.
Okay.
Yes, they're also Ghanaians. So
yeah.
I'm landing. Or I don't have the time. I'm landing.
Oh, go ahead and land.
I think Mr. Ayariga also spoke about the fact that Atoforsen single-handedly brought down the dollar. First of all, understand that. I mean, you know this. You are IC. You know that government is not spending. So when you are having some of these conversations,
you want us to go into that?
No, you should. No, hold on.
If you want us to go into that, that's for another. If you want us to go into that, if you want us to go into the city, hold on. We can. If he speaks to the city, I won't have the time to rebut
on the cedi dollar depreciation.
If you want to speak to that,
he made that point.
I didn't talk about cedi dollar.
Please allow me.
You said that.
Osman,
that's very fundamental. It's not only about the city.
Osman, please allow me. What point did he make that you want to rebut?
he made a point that Dr. Bawumia, with all the 7-member economic management team, failed with the stabilization of the city. And it has taken only Arthur Forsen to stabilize. And that's what I wanted to just draw his attention to.
Okay.
The point that...
So
but if he's
no,
I'll have to...
No, you made a point.
You made a point, so you just want to...
I didn't narrow it down.
I am out of time.
You made a point.
I'm out of time. Just 1 minute.
No, first of all, I mean, beyond even the external factors, I just want him to come in and tell that, first of all, government has not spent. You've never done procurement, you've not paid contract staff, so certainly you've not spent.
Okay.
Second, no, that's not the point. The point has to do with the gold reserves that they've been able to sell to stabilize the city.
You see, you're going to another whole topic.
We're not talking about...
If you have to also come, come in and speak to it.
You see, Lily, don't make it...
Let's concentrate.
Don't make it look like... No,
Osman, please allow me.
I'm not... If you don't want me to comment, I'm fine. But I just want to make a point that don't make it look like we are rigid about conversations.
No, we are not rigid.
At the end of the day, it's one point we do this together. You lay a foundation.
You are now
lay a foundation.
I told you I gave you 1 minute.
When somebody talks about a CD depreciation, you have to let him understand the factors that is prevailing at the moment. I'm not even speaking. Seconds. No, I'm not speaking on it. You let me.
Okay, fine. My producer is doing allegedly that we have to. Thank you very much.
You continuously gag me with your panelists, and I'm not happy. Why do you bring me here to gag me? It's not fair. Is that how you treat members in opposition? Is that how you treat members in opposition? We will come to power one day.
It's a leading member of the Convention People's Party. Osman Ayariga is the CEO of the National Youth Authority, and Kwasi Esq is a member of the NPP Communications.
He should apologize.
And a leading member of the Ken campaign. He says he's connected. We're back after this breather. Stay tuned in.
a brand new.
Yeah, welcome back to the show. This is still GH today here on GHOne TV. I am Lily Mohammed. If you are an art enthusiast, if you are a lover of creativity, lend me your ears for the next couple of minutes. Well, I read visual art at some point in my life. I don't know where that is right now, but we'll talk about it someday. But let's talk about design. My guest this morning, Regan Marfo, is co-founder of Design Junkies, and Samuel Alote is also the co-founder of Design Junkies. What is Design Junkies? And they have a spelling of design. It's quite interesting. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Lee.
How are you doing?
Very well. How are you?
I'm good.
Good to have you. The Design Junkies. You just design? Mm-hmm. Or whenever you pick your pen or your pencil, you just... What's Design Junkies?
All right. So I think for a time now, people hear design and think of design as just visuals, right? There's more to design than just the visuals you're looking at. If we look at this room we are sitting in, right? There's a lot of design that's gone into this room, right? When I think of design, I think of it as a problem-solving tool, if I should say. So you know there's a screen behind me, there's a screen behind you. That's to allow whatever is being captured on the camera, show, you know, the GH1 logo and all that. That is design. The set is built in a way so that it can capture everyone in that camera over there. That is design. The name, the Design Junkies, I'll leave it to explain on that one.
So, I mean, it's just we're trying to be different, way to set us apart. I think every time we mention the Design Junkies, just like your reaction, everybody is very curious about it. It's very unique, and that's what we're aiming for. And Junkies in itself, it's people who are unusual.
People who are not normal.
Yes. And we are Design Junkies. The design is very much within us, and just like Regan said, it's not.
What informed this? Because, like he said, it's not just about picking a pen or a pencil and then trying to create something or make meaning of something. It goes beyond that. What informed this?
Yes, so we started as a podcast, right? And the primary reason why we did that was because a lot of people kept walking up to us, asking us questions, how to enter design, what design really is, and we felt like people, just like Regan said, people had a very narrow understanding of what design was, and we also felt like we had a lot of experience that we could share to those who want to enter design, those who are starting their journeys and all of that. So yeah, that's why we started the Design Junkies. We had a podcast and we've been doing it for some years now.
How many years ago was this?
We started the podcast in 2022, January 2022.
But when was Design Junkies birthed?
2021, November 5th, 2021.
Okay. What do you talk about on the podcast?
Anything in design.
Yeah, I just want to add something to what he said, and the reason why we started the podcast and everything, right? Another aspect was there were a lot of people that were doing amazing things in Ghana that were a little bit timid. People didn't like putting themselves out there. So our podcast, I think you should watch after this show.
I definitely will. I'm a lover of podcasts, so I definitely will.
When you watch, you realize that we're not just talking about design, right? We are also trying to inspire people who are watching. So we are sharing real life stories. So for example, if we are talking about work-life balance, we are sharing stories that are happening in our workplaces. So it's just not design. So there's design, there's creativity, there's business, there's how to even work with your boss. I think we've spoken about everything on that show before too.
It's very timeless.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, even it can be like 15 years from now, and
you still
very
enjoy
relevant.
it.
So we try to look at what is trending now and just focus on the real issues, because we felt like that was missing in the industry.
There was one time we spoke about the airport.
Issues bothering on the youth or everybody, or is not age related?
I like that you mentioned that. Our content is not limited to a certain group, right? You don't even have to be a designer to enjoy our content or relate to it or learn something from it. You don't have to be someone in your 20s to enjoy our content or learn something from it. So it cuts across anyone who is serious about their careers, who wants to be successful in their careers, who wants to do something well for themselves. Listen to our podcast, watch our content. You learn a lot of things from it.
Okay, I'll be doing that. But you have a new campaign. Design your greatness. Why design? What are we designing?
So, I mean, we've understood what design is, right? So now we all understand it's not just the visual, right? Everybody can be great and everybody is great. But one thing we've come to understand is most times people are trying to wait for the perfect time
to start that journey they want to get on, right? So in summary, what we are trying to do this time around is we are launching this campaign to inspire people, to let people know that it is possible. So I met some, I think 2 weeks ago, and he was showing me some visuals he designed, right? So you see Sarkodie from, let's say, 20 years ago, and you see Sarkodie today. You see the face, you see the things he was wearing, you see him today, you realize that he has designed his greatness. There's that journey, right? So that's what we are trying to do on this particular campaign. And underneath that, there's the whole campus store.
Yeah, and just like Regan said, we have a community of about 350 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one of the things people always feel like they have to have like the latest MacBook. They have to be in a certain state to be able to be great. And we all have different stories. I'm sure you have your own story of how you started your journey and everything. Like, you don't need to have the best of tools. You just need to start where you are. And so that's the message we are trying to paint across. And we figure, why not take it to where these people are? There's a lot of people in our community are young professional students. They learn one thing in school, and then when they are out of school, they are trying to get into something entirely different. I think you mentioned visual arts, right? And now you're doing media, right? So it's something like that. It's just the message you're trying to cut across or put across to these different people, right? So we take the message to them in their schools, show them that this is what is possible. You don't necessarily have to limit yourself whilst you're in school. You don't necessarily have to limit your thinking whilst you're in school. Think big and be bold in what you want to achieve, and this is definitely possible.
Yeah.
So is this initiative just targeting students or young people, or are there other branches to this Design Your Greatness initiative?
Okay, so I want to say something. There's this thing in the team, right? When you hear the word creative, right? It's not someone that, normally when you hear creative, it's just someone who's in the media space or, does visuals and all that. But we think of creatives as people who have ideas. So if you can think of an idea, you're a creative. So we're not just limiting it to someone that is in school, that is under the age of 25. No. Even if you are 16 and you are close to where we are having this particular event, you can show up. I started working back on campus when I was in level 300. So it's possible, just like someone was saying. We don't want the students to think of, I need to get a degree before I can start working. We want them to start thinking of their career right from, campus. So it's not, there's no limit to it. No, even if you want to come, I'm sure we can arrange a bus for you too.
So how many universities are you targeting?
So we are targeting 5 universities. The first one is kicking off actually this Saturday at UCC.
Okay.
And then the next one is June 28th, UMAT. And then we go to KN University.
21st July.
Is July 12th. And then University of Ghana,
25th.
July 26th. And then Ashesi, September. It's yet to be decided.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
For Legon and Ashesi will be a hackathon. So like a design challenge sort of.
Yeah, it's exclusive. We didn't want to announce it yet. So.
Now, thanks to GHOne. But how do people participate? You just have to be a level of creativity. Is that all?
Yes, with an asterisk, just like Leon said. Anyone with an idea is a creative. That's what we believe. So if you want to participate, just follow us on our socials, THEDSG and JUNKIES, the Design Junkies. Or go to our website, thedesignjunkies.com, and go to the events page. You see all the events we have coming up. We also have FitCon coming up. That's later. FitCon? It's our design conference. The first one was in August last year. We had over 360 people showing up, which arguably one of the biggest design conferences in the country. It's the second edition will most likely happen again this year.
It will happen.
Which will also happen in August?
No, December.
December.
Well,
okay, but last year you did it in August.
Yes.
Okay, but this year you're doing it in December.
Another exclusive. So it most likely it will happen, just like we can say. But we are focusing on the campus store right now, and then trying to put it all together, make it happen successfully, and then everything will culminate at FitCon.
I just want to add something to the campus store. When you look at the outline for the event, it's not just design conversations. That's what we want people to understand. We are bringing people who have been working in the industries for a very long time. So there's talk on personal branding, there's talk on careers.
I see that. That's what you talk about, all these things on your podcast.
Yeah.
I just opened your page.
That's good.
And the key thing is that, like, one thing we've realized is that it's not just about technical skill when you're working in the industry. It's not just about what you know as in design, pushing pixels. It's not just about what you know sitting in front of a camera and speaking. It's about how to work with people, like managing different teams, like all these different soft skills that a lot of people overlook. And that's what we try to paint and get them to understand that this is important, right? It's not just about your technical skill. Because you can be the best designer, but if you don't know how to do certain things, you won't progress in your career.
You know how to interrelate with people.
Yeah. Exactly. That's a challenge I have personally faced. I think a lot of people have personally faced.
Really? So how did you overcome it?
I'm still overcoming it. I think that's the beauty of their campaign, right? It's designing your greatness. There's not an end. There's not an end inside. It's there's always something better you can do, right? So just keep
Was it
going.
then difficult working with him since he's admitted?
Now we understand each other. But 4 years ago, we didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
And just to add to that, I think the very first time I started hosting shows, because the podcast I hosted myself was on this particular show, and that taught me a lot, you understand? So there's so many things we ourselves even learn while we are building these things. We've learned so many things, conflict resolution, and so on and so forth. So we are trying to bring that knowledge to the students and other people as well.
Is this free?
Absolutely free.
Completely.
Absolutely free.
Free.
Yeah.
Just show up.
Oh.
Yeah.
We are not trying to limit the impact we can make, because we know these people might not necessarily be able to afford it. If we are actually going to put a price to it, a lot of people might not be able to afford it, right?
So every student of UCC can partake in
Every student
Just
of UCC,
working.
anyone in Cape Coast Central Region.
Okay, so I may not be a student, but I want to partake.
Yeah.
Am I
Yeah.
allowed?
You're allowed. Yeah, you can show up, because the conversations are something you'll be very interested in.
Yeah.
And also, it's not even just about the conversation, the networking, meeting people.
Give me a teaser on some of the conversations.
So there's going to be a panel discussion on building a versatile career, right? And these are people that have been working in the industry for long. So like I said, you're going to hear from real people. It's not like, someone that started working last year come to give you career tips, right? I'm sure you can see behind some of the people that we have Peggy, we have Kwasi, we have VL. These are big people. And like some said, it's not just about the conversation, it's about the networking. Because sometimes you might just talk to one person and that be the person that's probably going to hire into their company that will, just take your career to another level. So,
And I like, just to add to what Regan said about the hiring. So after each event at each campus, we'll be setting up clubs, right? And so the design agreement campaign is not just about an event, like a series of events and then ends there. We want to have further impact on the students or their attendees. So we'll be setting up clubs on each campus. And then through these clubs, we have international partnerships with Interaction Design Foundation, and the world's biggest design education platform. We are working on other partnerships as well. So we will bring all these different resource personnel, host workshops, and just have further engagements with these students just to make sure their mind is in the right place. And then once they're out of university, they are ready to go. They are ready to jump into the job market. We've already been putting people in different roles unofficially through our community. So after this event and this campaign, we'll formalize it all. So there's a lot of things interconnected in this ecosystem. It's not just one event.
Okay.
I think that's what sets us apart from other organizations, other communities.
Okay, we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And at this point, I wish I was way younger again. Maybe in one of your sessions, I would participate.
I think we can even have you as a speaker.
Okay. I'll gladly be there to share my experience.
Thank you.
So that's Regan Mafo and Samuel Alite. They are founders of the Design Junkies. This Saturday, right?
Yes.
You're going to UCC. If you want to just enhance yourself as a young person, you don't necessarily need to be a student of UCC. Just come along, and then it's free. It's open to the public. So please come along. Let's have conversations about us. We're back shortly.
There's no applause for this moment. No headlines. No guarantees. Just you. A screen. A sketchbook. An idea. And the quiet decision to keep going. People think greatness happens all at once, that it's a moment, a breakthrough, a gift, but it's none of those things. It's in the small wins that remind you to keep going. It's putting your work out there, unsure if anyone will care. It's the first client who takes a chance on you. Greatness isn't a title. It's not something you wait for. It's something you build. And the best part, it belongs to anyone willing to pursue it. Design your greatness. There's no applause for this moment. No headlines. No guarantees. Just you. A screen. A sketchbook. An idea. And the quiet decision to keep going. People think greatness happens all at once, that it's a moment, a breakthrough, a gift, but it's none of those things. It's in the small wins that remind you to keep going. It's putting your work out there, unsure if anyone will care. It's the first client who takes a chance on you. Greatness isn't a title. It's not something you wait for. It's something you build. And the best part, it belongs to anyone willing to pursue it. Design your greatness.
Let's do some celebrations now. You're welcome back. Happy birthday, Madam. I wish you all God's blessings that you wish for yourself. Have a joyous and amazing day, Clenham. Now, let's take you to a conversation that my colleague Sewa here had with the former Ghana's ambassador to Germany, Ambassador Gina Bl, and that will end the show. My name is Lily Mohammed. Bye for now. But let's stay tuned in for that interview.
You're welcome to GH Today. I am Sewa here. This morning, I get the very rare opportunity to talk to Ghana's former ambassador to Germany, Mrs. Gina Bl, who is also the wife of the very popular Freddie Blay. Mrs. Blay, good morning. You're welcome to the show.
Good morning, sir. Glad to meet you, finally.
Glad to meet you finally, too. Yeah. How have you been? You look very well.
Oh, thank you. I am back home and I'm well rested or resting. Maybe that's why I look well.
You're well rested. Does that mean that you haven't been called back?
No, I can't be called back because I've served my term, 2 terms indeed, which is the first time for an ambassador in Germany. I served from 2017 to 2024. And once the term is ended, you come back and someone else will be posted to the place.
Okay. I mean, you've served 2 terms. If you were called again, would you go?
I doubt it. It rarely happens. So I have to look for something new to do, like being a grandmother.
We'll talk about all of that and even focus on women in politics. Okay. Yeah. But your time in Germany as the ambassador, how was it?
Oh, great. Nearly 7.5 years. It really strengthened the Ghana government and German government's relationship on all spheres, or I'll say major spheres. Can I go on?
Yes.
Yes, especially in education. TVET was strengthened. Health, there was a lot done with the health, and then with security. Indeed, the Germans have virtually adopted the Kofi Annan Center for training, and we are members of the Compact for Africa, which was sort of policy direction by the German government, and we're one of the pioneer countries that was adopted. And with that, a lot of German businesses came into Ghana. Indeed, it's through that, the Compact for Africa, that Volkswagen, VW, came to be established in Ghana. And a chocolate factory called Fair Afrique is based in Suhum. You should visit it, it's very beautiful. These are all German companies and a whole lot of other German companies. By my last counting, 2 years ago, it was like 40 German companies that are currently working in Ghana in various spheres.
That's some great achievement.
It is indeed.
Are you proud of yourself? Certainly you must be.
I am proud of myself.
what kind of embassy do you think that you left over there?
I think a positive embassy in case of my staff. I was the ambassador, I was the leader of the house, and I don't know if you may be aware, but it's one of the countries that our former president, Nana Akufo-Addo, visited quite often on the invitation of the German government.
Why was that so?
Because they found, like I told you before, Ghana became like a very good collaboration. I won't say we are their baby, we are equals, equal partners. So we were invited, our president was invited for a whole lot of issues, some on immigration or migration, mostly on security. Every year he was invited to the Munich Security Council meeting in Munich. He managed to attend about 3 or so because he can't be there all the time. And that helped. And in the same way, flipping back, Ghana was one of the countries that 2 German chancellors and the president of Germany visited. When I first went in 2017, 2018, President Steinmeier was here.
Okay.
And they opened the migration center.
Okay.
To help Ghanaians migrate, those there, to come here, to lend their support to German businesses and to Ghana companies. The next year, the famous Angela Merkel was here to visit. That was a big issue for Angela Merkel to move into your country. And that was soon after that we established Volkswagen. Then last year, thereabouts, Chancellor Scholz, the outgoing chancellor, also visited Ghana. So Germany is the big powerhouse in Europe in terms of employment, money, everything. I mean, it's the biggest. And for Germany to collaborate with Ghana is a big deal. Interestingly, our present president was also in Germany twice when I was there.
Okay.
He came on various, one for a forum, the second one recently to the Munich Security Council. So you can see where it's going. It's a continuity thing for Ghana and Germany.
Okay. I mean, now that you have mentioned the current president, I know that you've been back here. You said you've been well rested, but I know that you've been monitoring a lot of things because you own Daily Guide as well. How would you rate President Mohammed's administration so far?
Rating? That's mathematical, isn't it? I don't think, to be fair,
to rate it. What do you make of his government so far then?
Okay. I was a diplomat. I still would wish to talk or think like a diplomat. For ambassadors, you talk on behalf of your country and of your president. And we have a president. He's just come in 4 months. It's April now.
Yeah.
And I've known him a bit because I was a journalist. All journalists knew President Mahama, and he knew me as well. And I think he wishes to do well. He has said it that this is final term, and he wants to be remembered for certain particular issues. So it's my hope and prayer, because we want Ghana to be well. And my hope and prayer that he will be able to keep to our aspirations and to his own wishes to do well for us, by us, and by the end of his term, we will all say, Aiko, President Mahama, you've done well.
What was your relationship with him like?
Friendly. It was friendly because we are in the media. He used to be a media person. He visited us once in a while. Indeed, one of his closest aides, Wisdom Awuku, was given to him by me.
Oh, wow.
He visited us in the office. I said, Wisdom, follow the president. Follow the aspirant as he was then. I think he was going to be vice president. Yes. Just as we had given someone to the NPP as well. Okay. So, and the young man is now a doctorate holder, has been close to President Mahama, and I'm proud of that.
How is your relationship with him now?
With the president?
Yes.
Since I came, I haven't met him. He is busy, and I'm resting.
Okay. I see how diplomatic you are being with your answer in terms of how he has performed. Yes. But the government under which you served, how would you rate that government? At least that one is out of power. How would you rate its performance?
I served under that government, and I would say President Akufo-Addo was one of the hardest working presidents that I know. At least I knew him because he was president. He visited Germany a number of times. He wasn't lazy at all. I wouldn't say that. If someone says he was lazy, it's not true. He worked hard. He also, like I've just said about President Mahama, wanted to give the best for Ghana and of Ghana. Along the way, there will be shortfalls. There will be problems. There will be challenges, which many people talk about these days. So, in my view, and having worked closely with him, as I said, he visited one of the countries in Europe that he visited most times was Germany. I think he tried his best. We should give him that.
But looking at where you were and the state of the country that you are back to now, would you still say that he tried his best? Because there are people who said that he didn't do much.
Well, it showed in the voting pattern. People voted his party out. because they were not satisfied. That's why I said there were challenges. He himself admits it. I don't think he shies away from it. He will say, I give up my best, but the best was not good enough for the country. That's why they voted his party out. He is gone. What can we say? Let's hope for the new one. Let's hope for President Mahama that he will do better than we expected President Akufo-Addo to have done.
Okay. Speaking of President Mahama and your relationship with him, I mean, we all know that you own Daily Guide. There are people who said that you were quite soft. The newspaper was very soft on President Mahama because of your relationship with him.
Are you sure? I don't think so. Daily Guide, I was the administrator. I wasn't the editor throughout my years there, and I was there for quite a long time before I left. People rather say the opposite of what you are saying. Maybe in relation to President Rawlings, we're harder on President Rawlings because we kept on the news on him. Our take was that we wanted a democratic country. The military shift over, we felt, had not been felt too much or well done or taking effect. So we wanted more of that. So Daily Guide from Kweku Baku, when he was editor, to Kwesi Baini, to all the editors that passed through our hands, our focus was there to get a good democratic country for us. When President Mahama came in, I think we carried the news as it was. We were not soft on him. I don't believe so. I won't say so. No.
Okay. Because we have a very limited time for this conversation, there's an area that I really want your thoughts on. What are your views on the concept of family and friends in the president's appointment? I ask this because of your appointment as ambassador to Germany, and it was one of the issues, or your name happens to be one of the names that comes up very strongly when the opposition at the time, NDC, was talking about a government of family and friends, because your husband is the chairman, or well, at the time, of the party and business partner of then President Akufo-Addo in the 90s. What's your view on it as opposed to competence?
One, my husband was never a business partner of President Akufo-Addo.
Wasn't?
They were all lawyers. They were both high top lawyers with their own chambers.
Okay.
Their fathers and uncles were in the independence movement.
Okay.
Lawyer R.S. Blay was one of the foremost of the independence movement, just as President Akufo-Addo became the president of the country. So they were colleagues and lawyers, and they were both in parliament. In terms of business, I don't know about it unless Freddie will tell me, which I'm sure if it had happened, he would have told me by now. But coming to your question of family and friends, regarding me, I asked President Akufo-Addo why he chose me, and especially to Germany. He said, you did well managing Daily Guide, and you are a woman. That's why he chose me. And why I chose you, sort of quoting him, to Germany is because of Angela Merkel. I admire that woman, and I think you've shown yourself as a strong woman in the media sphere or wherever it is you are. That's why I've selected you to go to Germany. I am an Ewe from Tabiepe. My husband is an Izuma from Ekwe. We have no relationship with President Akufo-Addo from Eastern Chebi side. No, we don't. So if it's us, this Blay family, talking about family and friends, I don't think we qualify for that.
But you had heard your name, I'm sure, in the conversations about family and friends. Hardly.
I think a few people may have mentioned that because I'm the chairman's wife, but many people didn't believe that. I was known more for Daily Guide than as Freddie Blay's wife.
But what do you generally make of appointments, of families who may be qualified, competent, but because of the tag as family, there's a conversation that you need to move on or overlook them and choose other people who are more competent, as they say, that instead of choosing your family, there are other people who are equally competent?
I think it's a dangerous move. I don't think we should encourage it. Family and friends. Well, what's family and friends? You are going to appoint all your children. If you have 7 children, 4 boys and 3 girls to the various ministries. It's even dangerous for the family because political appointments are some way. I'll describe it that way. It's a different kind of animal. So I think you should leave your family out of it. Family first, out of it. Friends, I don't know who are friends. Some people may pretend to be friends when you are in power, but quickly fizzle out when you are not in power.
I get how diplomatic you're being, but
yeah,
you
run a newspaper.
You saw the list that the NDC put out. The governments that that you served under. They mentioned so many people. They mentioned Gabio Chiridako. They mentioned the finance minister. Your name was there. They mentioned the president's daughter. They mentioned quite a number of people. Didn't you see any of that?
I didn't see any of that.
Okay, well, I'm telling you.
Okay.
And there was strong
I think my name should not have been there. I don't want to speak for the others, but I think my name was wrongly put.
Why?
Why not?
You're the wife of the chairman.
And I was a managing editor of one of the biggest privately owned newspaper in Ghana.
Well, Ken,
are we not proud of that?
Extremely proud.
Yes.
But Ken had a business of his own as well. Many other people have
I don't want to speak for Ken. And I don't want to say what NDC is saying.
Okay.
I want to speak for myself, which I think that with the position I held and with the work of over 30 years of journalism that I did, if you appointed me ambassador to Germany, I think it was okay. And I did a very good job. You can ask any of the Germans. Don't ask Ghanaians alone. Ask Germans.
Okay. And, you know, as a woman, and I'm sure that you identify as a member of the party right now, how was it for you? You know, you were not directly involved in politics, but as a diplomat, being a woman, how was it?
The party was never my thing.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't say. Okay. Because I'm a journalist. So journalism. That's where you are.
But journalists have, you know, have alliances as well.
You shouldn't be. Even if you align to a certain party, still do your work as a journalist. I strongly believe that. Why didn't you turn down the appointments?
Then?
Why should I? I told you just now that I believe I was qualified for it. Are you not proud of me as a woman?
I really am.
I'm happy to be.
I'm happy to be talking to you.
And I'm glad I did a very good job in Germany.
So if you were president, then you would not appoint your family members?
No. And I was not a family member.
You're the chairman's wife.
The chairman is not a family member. I just told you.
But
he's from Zima over there.
They're not friends?
Chebi over here.
Weren't they friends?
Friends, okay. But you have to know people.
You don't agree that your appointment was because of your relationship with
my husband?
Yes.
No, I don't believe so. It was more with Daily Guide.
What kind of relationship did you have with the Akufo-Addo for him to have picked you among all the other women who had businesses in the country?
You know what? I may recall the night he was, well, the EC may not have spoken that night, but it was clear he had won the election in 2016, Akufo-Addo. Okay. He stood in his house at Nima. You know, our office is right behind his house, in the alley somewhere there. He stood in the house, thanked a number of people. He thanked, if I may recall, Captain Kojo Chikata, Kweku Baku. I was in the newsroom at that time. We were doing the final pages. It was like 6:37. He mentioned my name, Gina Bl of Daily Guide. I said, oh, I was surprised, but he did. That means he appreciated the work we had done. I'm sure if you ask President Mahama a similar question, if he still recalls my name, he would have said Gina Bl of Daily Guide.
So you believe that it's more
of my professional career? Yes, I will stand by that any day.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm happy that you mentioned journalists and not, losing their heads. But what do you make of appointments of journalists by presidents when they take office?
Right now, I hear about 10 or so, including my own friend Raymond Archer, has been appointed to various positions. What's wrong with it? They are Ghanaians. They are professionals. If a president believes that a journalist, if a doctor can be appointed, why not a journalist? We are professionals, you know. We learned this job, went through the university, had various degrees. Even in Germany, I was still in school to do my MA. So as journalists, if they are appointed, I believe they deserve it. I'll clap for them anytime.
Okay. I know that you say that you were not so much involved in politics. I didn't see you to be so much involved in the politics. But we have been going on a campaign to empower more women, you know, to be involved in leadership positions and whatnot. You're coming from a country which had Angela Merkel and all that. What do you think we can do as a country to even push the affirmative action, you know, goal?
Women should be bold. They should not be too shy and too scared and too sensitive to criticism. That has been the bane of many women. I remember when the parliamentary democracy started, many women said, oh, me, I won't go there. They will insult me. Truly, they will insult you. I mean, they call them all kind of names. You are aware of that. They call all kind of bad names to women in particular. And many families or husbands will say, hey, don't go there. Nah, they will insult you, and insults, they don't kill. At least you go into your room and cry a little and come out. Men are also get rattled a bit. I've been with a politician. I've known this man as a politician since I started university at 19 years old. That's when I met him. And I've been with him up to now. And when I first saw him, he was on stage with his handkerchief vying for SRC president of the university. So even though I've never been at the forefront, I've been within the politics or because of him.
Right.
All these years. So I will encourage all women, don't be afraid. Let them insult you, let them call you names, let them just forge ahead. Right now in Parliament, there are a lot of young women there, very pretty young women in Parliament these days. And I really would off my hat for them, you know.
Do you have any mentorship program for women who look up to you and want to be like you?
Well, if anyone wants me to mentor them, I would love to do that. I'd love to do that.
What do you make of the new crop of journalists that you're seeing now with all your wealth of experience?
There's a lot of improvements.
Okay.
A lot from where we came from to now. It's a lot of improvement. I see a lot of women on television, on radio, both in Twi and in English. And the kind of questions they ask, very bold and forward questions. You are one of those, and others at all the other television stations. I think we spoil it a bit when we become political animals in one faction here or there. We should try as much as possible for both sides, both men and women, to some may agree with me if I say to stay in the middle, because
exactly,
every media house has their own preferences.
Just like Daily Guide?
Yes, but at least try and look it. Not too shifty.
Daily Guide didn't look it?
We looked it.
Neutral?
We looked it.
Are you sure?
We tried our best.
You know, speaking, you know, still on women, what do you make of the suspension of the Chief Justice? And I'm bringing my conversation to you.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
What don't you like?
I've read the petitions, some of them. I've read her responses. The most difficult one I've seen was a money matter. And I've read her response to that. If for nothing at all, I mean, look at it quietly. I don't want to tell President Mahama what to do. But I think you are targeting women. Some women may not care. They say, well, it didn't affect me. It affected this other one. But it's proud when I tell my German colleagues that they ask, so how are women in your country? I said, we've had at least 3 women chief justices in our country. And they say, really? We haven't had that here. So it's a plus for us when we have that. Then you have a woman chief justice in your country, and now you are attacking her from the treetop. She's a thief, she's done this, she's done that. I mean, where are we going? The young women that you are buying sanitary pads for, encouraging them to stay in school so they don't leave school because they are in their menstrual period. I mean, teach them to emulate the Chief Justice, not to see her sacked or disgraced.
Did you have the same stance when Charlotte Osei was kicked out as EC chair?
You didn't ask me. I would have told you the same thing.
What did you feel about it then?
That it shouldn't have happened. She was a woman. I thought it shouldn't have happened. I've been watching her on social media a lot. I admire her. I don't think she should have been kicked out, but it was done. I don't think this one should be kicked out, so I hope it won't be done. We don't need to repeat the mistakes. We should move forward. Johnny Walker, keep walking.
Okay, I just had a very extensive conversation with your husband a couple of days ago. I talked about the party's defeat and, you know, the plan to recapture power. What, in your view, should the NPP do, final question, to bring the party together to move forward?
They themselves have flogged it a lot, that they should be united. Nobody who is not united wins anything. A family divided can't move forward. So if they are saying it with their mouth, they should mean it in their hearts, that we have to be united and stop this kind of split conversations and personalities as they show on social media.
Who do you think is the best person to lead the NPP?
I can't tell you. I don't
Why?
know. I don't know.
I'll give you options. There's Dr. Bawumia, there's Kennedy Japan.
Either of them could do. Either of them could do.
If you were voting today, who would you vote for among the two of them?
If I had a vote?
Yes.
It's my secret.
Very, very interesting. do you speak Dutch?
Deutsch.
It's Deutsch.
It's Deutsch,
not
yes.
Dutch.
No,
Okay,
Dutch
thank
is
you.
the Denmark one. Deutsch.
It's the Denmark one.
I tried to learn.
What did you
A
learn?
few words. Good morning, good morgen, guten Abend, that kind of thing. But I always fell asleep when they were teaching me. I don't know why. Maybe I'm too old.
Thank you so much.
More interestingly, the diplomats who go there, we have something in our head that we are living in 3.5 years to 4 years time. So why are you learning a language? But that's not, it wasn't a good excuse. I should have been more serious about it to have learned. Because I have grandchildren who are Deutsch. Yes, I have 2 grandchildren. Their mother is German.
Finally, I mean, you mentioned the sanitary pad and I didn't stay on it. What do you make of that policy anyway?
I don't know where it's going. I don't know where it will lead. Maybe it's a good initiative. I think it was an initiative of the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane. I think that was her initiative because she wasn't here that the President had to go and outdoor it or launch it, and people have been criticizing it. I believe if they done a study and they believe that's something that's worrying the young children, but I think there should be another way. Why can't we manufacture it and sell it cheap?
You've been a journalist for so long.
Yeah.
You know that there are young ladies who miss school because of their periods.
Really?
Is that not? Yes.
We should make it cheap so that they can buy.
But some people can't buy it at all.
Well, then maybe it's good.
What do you think? What's your honest opinion on it?
I think we should manufacture it and make it cheap. Cheap, maybe 1 cedi. If we can buy water and coconut for 5 cedis, we should sell it for a cedi. Let them feel they are buying something for. They buy panties. Let them buy their part. I don't want a man buying parts for me. Yeah, let's manufacture it and make it.
Is it a
very
man
cheap.
buying it or is government buying it?
Government. But let's make it. It's part of something we have to industrialize about. Manufacture it. Manufacture. Don't import it. Let's manufacture it.
Okay.
And let's sell it for a CD token for the girls to buy themselves. This one, they feel like a government or a man is dashing them something. I don't like it.
Mrs. Gina Blay has fought a disease that a lot of people have died from. She had cancer. I was not aware, but I was told. And she looks nothing like, someone who had cancer. Mrs. Blay, walk us through it. What happened? How did you fight it? What did you do?
Let me start by saying, how did I find out? And then how did I fight it? It's a disease with should I call it an ailment? It's not a disease so much as an ailment, with a lot of negatives around it. I thought I had a dream. Maybe it was my psyche. But I know I woke up one morning and I felt a lump in my breast. So I even called my husband beside me. I said, Freddie, I think I have a lump. Jokingly, he said, get away, you are lying. So I said, touch it. I think there is a lump. We both touched it. There was a lump. So he said, go and see Professor Kwarteng, that time of the heart clinic at Kolebu. So I went to see him. They directed me to do biopsy, took it to South Africa in 2 weeks of sitting on tenterhooks. It came back positive that I had breast cancer in my right breast. So what do we do? In fact, sitting in front of you like this, he said, yes, you have cancer. I said, Prof, the C word, I couldn't even pronounce the thing, word. I couldn't. It's so heartbreaking. I said, C word? Is that what you started crying? Anyway, what will tears do? You have it. So he said, your best way is to do the surgery, wherever you wish to do it. That was in 2008, so February 2009. Fortunately, I have relatives in the U.S. So I went to my sisters in the U.S. and went to the Mercy Clinic, and they had a surgery for me, removed it from my right breast. It means cutting off some things and some things. So they wanted me to stay for chemo. I said, no, I can't. I was with my son, Kwame. I said, it will take too long. It's very disheartening, very disheartening. I know I nearly died just like this, but I won't go into that too much. So we came back to Ghana, went back to Kolebu, and started the chemo, which lasted for 1 year. Every 3 weeks, you go for this injectable into your arms, and it's not easy, Sawa. You throw up, and throw up. You come back, and for 1 week, you feel terrible. You feel like dying. I don't know what death or dying means, but you are not happy. What helped me to get through it, as I'll say, my family. Freddie was always at me. Get up, go to work, get up. Well, just like I was telling you just now, that it's always giving you orders. Do this, do that, eat. Don't say. So my office didn't even know that I was going through it. All they knew was that I traveled for about 2 weeks, come back, and some days I'll miss a Friday, if it's a Friday that I had to go for the chemo at Kolebu and so on. So we went on and on and on, and it takes like 5 years to finally go away, or they'll say, you are off the remission, you are for it not to return, then they assure you. But before then, the fear is always that it will come back maybe in the other one or something. But what I would like, always young girls who ask me about it, a few people got to know, is that stay positive. You can't be positive by yourself. You have to have family and friends with you for you to be positive, because it's an issue that preys on your mind. For one, you know that it's something that can kill you. Really, it's killed people. Whilst I was going for chemo, I went to it used to be the second floor of the surgical block of Kolebu, and the cancer women were there. Plenty, many of women, breasts, horrible. You go there once, you don't want to go again. And I never went back. I didn't want to see. So it's a time where you need, really, that's when you need a family and friends, not for government job, but to keep you alive and going. So the advice I'll give to many of us is that always check It's not only the breast disease, it happens anywhere. I had a colleague in the embassy in Germany who had it in her stomach. She nearly went, but Germany being so good, they treated her till she came back to Ghana. So always be alert to your body, whatever changes, whether a lump, a pain or something, be alert to it and immediately see a doctor. Immediately see a doctor to deal with it.
You know, you talk so much about family support, family stress on it, your husband. I don't know if you have noticed, but a lot of women these days are not so big on having families. They say that marriage does not make a woman whole. I'm sure that you've heard it. What are your views on that?
They prefer being single? Well, I've been married for so long, I don't know how it is to be single. But I think even if they were not married, they should have friends and some family members who can help soliciting.
Does marriage make a woman whole?
I don't know. It makes you happy and sometimes unhappy. It's like this, like that. But you keep on going on with it. There are challenges in everything. You know, in marriage, in your work, in boyfriend, in girlfriend. There are challenges in everything that you do. So I don't know what it is. What is my happiness with marriage is that through it, I have my 3 lovely children. And that makes me very happy and proud.
Okay, in all of, you know, your fights with cancer especially, what did that tell you about our healthcare system? I know you had your chemo here, but you had to go to the US for your surgery. And you even mentioned your friend who had a cancer in the stomach, but thanks to Germany, who did so well.
Our healthcare is a bit below par, I would say. It's really a bit, but the doctors around, they are trying their best. Maybe it's for those in charge to make sure they have the supply of logistics that they need for our health care. You know, for instance, when I was doing the chemo in Kolebu, I saw the chemo hospital in Maryland. Nice place, the women were seated there doing their thing. The Kolebu one, even the chairs that we had to sit in, I saw a hole in the chair. So the doctor, because Professor Frimpong brought me, said, lie on a bed. They were kinder to me because of maybe Blay or something, you know. So, and from that time, 2009 to now, and we are still suffering that kind of, what is it called? We haven't added up. We haven't added up. I think we should pay more attention to the healthcare system. We should pay more attention. I'm not saying it's 100% okay in Germany or America or here. Over there too, people die of whatever, neglect or poverty or something because they can't. If you don't have insurance, you are not likely to have the best care. But here we can do better. I think we should pay more attention to the health facilities, and sanitary pad is one of them.
You know, how then did it make you feel, knowing that we have all these challenges, especially with our healthcare, but a government was prioritizing building a national cathedral?
I wouldn't have supported that. If they wanted to do it, they should just have done it. You've done it, you built it. But the stretch along and the talk
when
and the
our healthcare system is so bad?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that maybe they shouldn't have started at all.
Do you
have the money,
national cathedral idea?
There are mosques around, so if there's a national cathedral, what's wrong with that? And what I know from other countries, cathedrals take a long time to build. There's one which is being built in Cologne, in Germany, since the war bombed it. Since they bombed it after 45, it's still being rebuilt. Cathedrals take a long time. Maybe they shouldn't have sunk that much deep money or make it fancy like it was done. I think it was too fanciful for the time in which we were. They should have paid more attention to healthcare, more to the education, more to industrialization. We've got to industrialize. We've gone to industrialize. That's why the Germans were always inviting us to come, look. We've got to industrialize. If you don't industrialize, we won't get anywhere.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Gina Bl. is Ghana's former ambassador to Germany. She just returned, by the way, looking very well rested. And also the, as she calls, you want me to call you the administrator of Daily Guide?
No. I'm retired.
You're retired?
Yes, when I left, my children took over.
Okay.
Yes, they've been holding it till now.
But she's a veteran journalist as well, and I'm very honored to be sitting and talking with her. Thank you very much for being on the show.
You're welcome.
Stay with us. Let's move after the break.
GHOne OV van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rollis' state funeral, Miss Africa awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GHOne van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing, like anything you need a van to work for you, GHOne provides it.
My experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. You know, the van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew, ICC, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter who's in that studio as well and get that running.
To give an experience to our audience who are also watching on TVs and online, work with an Exo technology system which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras, like a lot of other stuff in terms of content you need to get also for your live broadcasts.
I prefer the GHOne van to a lot of other vans I've used, or even doing my own setup on a tabletop setup, because on a production you see a number of people in the van, and so if you have a very small van, it means that it's going to be choked, and that will affect the creativity as well. The price has been discounted as well to accommodate varied budgets, and so no matter the budget you have, I understand you can have the track and do business with it.
It looks huge but very affordable. Cost is really affordable. My experience with this EMI awards last year, super excellent. Try it, call them, and I'm going to give you the best of price. Really affordable.